What's the motherfucking deal? Shout out to all the friends of the Den. Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den is a conversation, man, a place where we can discuss issues. We discuss, what's going on. Not always current events, but what's happening in life concerns, if you will. But I'm your host, Honcho, man. We're joined by a very special guest, backed by heavy request, man. Who we got joining us this evening?
Appreciate that. This is your boy, man, up here. Come to represent, I give people what they ask for.
Already. Again, I apologize for the Den getting jumped off for a little bit later. Again, that's on me. Had some things that kind of held me up just a little bit. But hey, a little late, but still great. It is what it is. Tonight, man, we're going to be talking about personal philosophies. Basically, for those of you who don't know or don't quite understand where we're coming from, basically having a code. I talk about that line from The Wire often where it says a man has to have a code. A man has to have, a set of beliefs, man. You got to have a set of rules to live by. And
yep.
I'm getting that together. And so we're just going to talk about, some personal tips, personal codes of ethics or whatever you want to call it that we may have. And again, how the Den goes, we'll get it jumping for a little bit, and then we'll open up the line. You guys can call in with your own input because we love to hear what y'all have to say. Like I say, about establishing a personal philosophy and maybe rules of life, rules to live by, however you want to identify it. Again, things that will bode well for you throughout your time on this planet. Okay, everything else looks copacetic. Everything else looks good. So again, let's talk about it. So starting off, man, personal philosophy, code of ethics, having a set of rules to operate by. And I think, at a certain point, at a certain age, it's good to develop those. It might have took me a little bit later because I was always just wondering, always, looking at things through a different lens. And then I had some, changes that went through in my life because, like I said, I started out as a Jehovah's Witness, and for those who may think they this, that, and the third, but they are Christians. They just don't believe in a lot of these strange Christian values that some people support, some people do, some people don't. And so I never partook in a lot of stuff. I was always kind of an outsider. I always kind of looked at things differently, and I was just always kind of observing how other people operated because I didn't grow up like that. So it was just interesting to see why people did the things that they did. And I can't lie that there's a lot of things from growing up that way that stuck with me, and I'm glad that they did, and I think a lot of those things caused me to be who I am. I'm not really a materialistic person. I really don't care about a lot of fancy stuff. It's good to have nice things, but I don't overindulge. I don't, trip on stuff like that too much. But then, as you grow and you experience life for yourself, you have to, determine some things for yourself. As you start getting out there, you get older, you get away from the nest and you experience life. There's things that you learn, or, if you're a young guy, like I say, I used to always hang out with a lot of, older folks until some of them got thrown away and whatever else it may have been. We ain't gonna get all the way into that, but, they would teach things, and some of those things remained relevant throughout life. Some of those things were only good if you were living a certain lifestyle. But before we get all the way into that, man, I forgot and I apologize. We got to shout out to the friends who are joining us in the Den before I get too deep, like the motherfucking movie. So, let's see, we have joined us this evening, man, and I see Dr. Rabbit. I see Jaja, man, up holding down the chat and the stream. White Persuasion. Baker, man, what's the motherfucking deal? Heidi, Clintal Dental? I don't even know. I have no idea. Who knows? Clintal Dental Tea? I don't know. Whatever that is. It's foreign. Who knows? I don't speak Spanish. Gave you power. What's the motherfucking deal? Jerry Key, what's the motherfucking deal? DeMarcus Johnson, what's the motherfucking deal? Beyond a funny nigga, what's the motherfucking deal? Anthony Bailey, always good to see you, man. Let's see. Kenneth. No, I didn't see what you sent me on Twitter. I don't know. Half the time when you send shit, Kenneth, I'll be honest, I don't pay attention to what you be sending because you be sending some awful shit sometimes. Ever since you sent the fucking dyke shit, I ain't fucking been watching your shit. I ain't even finna get into that. Let's see. McVice, what's the motherfucking deal? Wink, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Make sure everybody got some love. Broderick, what's the motherfucking deal? And make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Everybody get their love, and it looks good. If I forgot you, man, I ain't doing it on purpose. It is what it is. But okay, so like I said, get into it though, man. Like I said, I kind of gave my little spiel a little bit. Man up, you. I'll let you go first and kind of express yourself. Your personal philosophy. What would you say when it comes to a personal philosophy, rules for life, code of conduct that you have set for yourself? What do you think is maybe, or maybe not the most important, but what is one of the most important rules that you have for yourself personally that you think would benefit other people?
My personal philosophy that I live by is to think twice on things. And if I feel like I have to think a third and a fourth time, then more than likely I shouldn't be doing it. That's my philosophy. Uh, and then, of course, I have other things as well too. Because a personal philosophy is more like, your thoughts and beliefs, your concept of things that you like to live by. Kind of like your attitude as well too. Things of that nature. Something like that. But I think a personal philosophy is something that, it's a guideline. My personal opinion is a guideline of how you should live your life, how you should go about certain things, how you should think about certain things like that. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, excuse me. So when it comes to a personal philosophy, I mean, I think that's something that everybody should try to strive in their life to let that be a guideline of how you should, what I'm saying, approach certain things. Like if you want to go to school, think twice about, what school you want to go to. Make sure it's a good opportunity for yourself and if you have family, things like that, for your future, things like that, things that you might have planned later on in life. If you want to try to get this certain job, same thing I just said that. If you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, what I'm saying, things of that nature. It all just depends on what it is that you're trying to do. That you should think long and hard about the situation. Like I said, that's just me personally. I mean, other people, should go about how they their situation, how they think about things, how they live. What I'm saying, how you want to create your own personal philosophy. And I think this is a good subject for the youngsters out there that's watching this.
Okay, I agree. Now, the funny thing that I find about personal philosophy, because there's a lot of things that people say. You can say, like you said, you got to think long and hard about what you do. Some people say study long, study wrong. Some people say, the finer things in life or what life is about. Some people say, hey, I live life without anything. It's good to not have anything. The thing about your personal philosophy and what's so important about it, it's your personal philosophy. It's not about anything from anybody else. It's not about what anybody else believes. And so, you can get all these inspirational quotes from elsewhere. We can tell you a whole bunch of things, but if it doesn't truly apply to you, if it doesn't resonate with you, then you can't really adopt that into your personal philosophy. So that's why I say, there's things you have to think about. You have to have your own life experiences. And that's why I say there's things that I was told that maybe early on worked for me. And then later on, maybe not so much, And so this is why I say I think it's important. Like me personally, I'm a person about, respect. And not everybody, honestly, not everybody deserves respect out the gate. And so I can see why other people see it differently. But I'm a person that I'm always overly respectful about anybody and anything. And so that's why I say it often. That way, if somebody tries to play me crooked or come at me sideways or whatever else it may be, I have no problem, either, cutting them off or handle them in a particular manner, or however the situation must go. I have no problem with that because I know personally, I always feel good that I've given this person the highest level of respect that I possibly could. And so if they chose not to reciprocate that, then the consequences are, basically on them. So I think that's kind of a personal issue for me. That's where I kind of draw, well, not I won't say draw the line, but that's kind of a thing that I usually start off with. Something that I say, okay, hey, whether or not, however this person is, I'm going to start off being respectful regardless of the rumors I've heard about, regardless of what people may say, regardless of what people may do. That's kind of where I rock with it. But again, so I have no problem, like I say, going in on somebody, I guess, if you will, if they are disrespectful or if they, whatever it may be. But again, like I said, there are people, though, who will say, well, respect is earned. Or some people say respect is given. So again, like I said, with these philosophies, with these thoughts, with whatever it is that you create, whoever it may be, it's up to you. If you don't figure it out for yourself, if you don't figure out what code of ethics, what personal code works best for you to get through life because it's your life, then you'll be struggling to be somebody else, and that's not really who you should be trying to emulate. You got to figure out, you can take bits and pieces of other people's lives and see life lessons of your own and see, you know, which method works best to come up with your own thing. So, like I say, you know, as far as you say, think twice, and maybe about things. What do you have, like maybe a real world example that you could share with somebody to maybe have a better understanding?
Sure, no problem. Oh, yeah, I got a few actually. uh, yeah, put it like this here. When you want to think twice on something, for me personally, I'm gonna give an example. There's been times that, you know, I might want to go, I don't know, see a movie. I'm just gonna, you know, throw that out there. You know, then I'm gonna give something real personal. But there's some times you might want to go see a movie. You look at reviews. I mean, not reviews. You see like the commercial form, you know, things like that on TV. You see who's playing in it. You know, you might want to see who it is. You know what I'm saying? What it's about. Things like that. If it's a sci-fi, it's a comedy, whatever. Things like that. You know, think about that before you spend your money. Now, going a little personal on myself. Like I thought twice about, you know, getting married. This is something I really wanted to do. Yeah, I loved them. Well, at the time, my girlfriend, but now my wife. But you know, I loved her, wanted to be with her, but I had to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Am I personally ready for this, to be a husband and potentially be a father again? You know, that's something I had to think about deep within. You know what I'm saying? So when you jump in something like that, you know what I'm saying, you got to think, yeah, you might love that person, but then sometimes you got to know if you're going to love this person no matter what. When you wake up in the morning, when you see the eye boogers, you know what I'm saying, you see the slob on their mouth because they sleep, you know, the stank breath, you know what I'm saying, you know, whatever. You know, sometimes people wake up with funky attitudes and something before they get their day going. You know, things like that. You know what I'm saying? I know it's crazy examples, but I'm just saying, when you got to think about these things. Then you got to think to yourself, if you love this person, you're going to give this person your all. So now you got to think within, are you ready for this type of commitment? Things like that. You see what I'm saying? So when you do that, excuse me, when you think twice and hard, then that's what should make you be like, okay, I'm ready or I'm not ready. Or I think I may be ready once I reach a certain point in my life. And for me, that's saying once you reach a certain point in your life, I think that's a crazy saying. But I will say sometimes that is true, you know. But back on topic here, when you make a important decision, that's something you got to think twice about. And I just gave an example when I'm talking about marriage. That's something I personally had to do myself. And that's something that my wife had told me she had to do. She had to think, is she really ready for this? You know, because that's a lifetime commitment. It's not easy getting out of like a girlfriend, boyfriend. Y'all just break up, go your separate ways. Once you sign your name on that marriage license, that's a commitment, a bond, and it's hard to break. So that's just something to think about there.
Okay, I definitely agree, man. Because, you know, nowadays, a lot of people, they look at marriage as, you know, it just is what it is, you know, because you always hear about, oh, such and such got together, they got divorced. You hear about people on their fourth and fifth marriage. I don't think that they take it seriously as much. I don't, you know, the institution. And again, I have my own personal feelings about marriage, but my thing is, I always said that if I ever did decide to go that route, it'd be a one-time thing, because like, you're going to be stuck with me, motherfucker. Goddamn. Look, I ain't finna be, you know, with the in and out shit. You know what I mean? You got to deal with all my problems. I'm going to deal with your bullshit. We going to fix it. And then you go deal with my bullshit. We going to fix it. And what it is. But again, that's a whole nother conversation, a whole other situation. Ain't nothing to be talking about right now. Don't sign the marriage certificate, though. Or you get married and have Pam sign the marriage certificate, and then your show ends shortly after that. but you know, my thing is, though, again, like I say, having a personal philosophy, man, I think it makes life easier to determine. Once you decide, and I think sometimes you got to take some time to sit down and say, you know, what is it that I believe in? What is it that I, want to get out of life? What is the angle that I'm trying to take, and how am I trying to get there? Some people don't give a fuck. They're going to do it by any means necessary. Some people have a level of integrity that they want to have as they try to climb up and try to, reach the top. Some people have, no idea, and they kind of just wander around, bumping their head here and there until, hopefully they bump into the right direction, or they fall into some type of situation, and then it forces them to kind of figure some things out. And that's why I say, especially some of the younger cats, you got time, sorta, because you really don't, but you think you do, and that's the thing about it. Like that's the thing about youth is you feel like, oh, I'm young, I got time to do this, I got time to do that, but you really don't, because it's the moves you're making right now that are putting you in a certain direction. So you're gonna go back and look at it, and you're gonna be like, man, I should have done this when I was younger. Because I look at situations when I was younger and say, okay, even 14, 15, 16, and I'm old enough to make sensible decisions. But I'm still thinking, oh, I'm young, I got time, and the procrastination and opportunities that were missed that could have catapulted me to a different level, but I chose not to. So I think it's good to start working on your personal philosophy from a young age, and start figuring out, so that way when you start getting to the point where it's time to make those critical decisions in life as a young adult, exactly what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. I mean, because you see people younger and younger. I mean, especially with the way the internet is trending and changing, and the way people in America especially overvalue the minds of youth. I don't know why, but it is what it is. That your decision time comes earlier and earlier. So again, like I say, these are things that you need to consider. And even if you're an older person and you wonder why you keep bumping and keep falling into the same shit, you got to take a look at your personal philosophy, and you got to say, okay, hey, there's some things I need to fix. We talk about, the auditing the mind all the time. And I think part of that is your personal philosophy, how you decide, how you choose to go about, thinking about things. And sometimes we have a lot of thoughts in our mind that were given to us that weren't really original thoughts of our own. Somebody we may have come in contact with told us something, we were young, and we just always believed it and never took the time to stop and double check and say, okay, well, where is this person coming from? What was their life experience like? Where did they come from? What area of the country they grew up in? What time, what era they grew up in? What is their class? What is their status? What did they accomplish in life? And you got to really look at a lot of these things. And people may not think it's important, because it's not about being judgmental, but it's about how quality was the information that this person provided. How beneficial is it really if, their life never really amounted to much, or they never really did much in life, but they're giving you life advice. That might not be where you're ultimately trying to end up being, unless that's the person you want to be like, then okay, then, take that advice. But sometimes you have to, not sometimes, but often you have to reevaluate your perspective and where you've gotten the information from. Because I want to say, somebody called in, it might have been Broderick, I think, was talking about, emotions behind information that's passed along. Sometimes we get information from somebody, and because they had a bad experience with something, it could be like, for instance, say you went shopping at a store, and say you might have a friend and they have some bad habits. They might be on some old ghetto shit, and they go to a nice store and they get poorly treated. So they're gonna go back, oh, they racist at this store, and they own a bunch of bullshit, and well, maybe it's because you looked a certain way that might have been sketchy, might have been curious. So you go to the store yourself, and you're thinking, oh man, my friend, that's my good partner. They say they racist, they might treat me funny here, and they go in there. You would go in that store, you have an excellent experience. They treat you nicely. You have a great, one of the better experiences of your life. You got to think about where this information is coming from. You got to think about who is telling me that. Why are they telling me? And then you have to really understand situations, because there was a couple of instances I had like that, being young. It was just a particular corner store. Everybody, oh, this dude, man, don't go to that store, man. That dude, he's racist, and he's this, and this. Hey, man, every time I would go to this store, and actually it was a collection store, because there was a bunch of, I don't know if they were Indian, Pakistani, whatever, Arabs, that owned a collection of stores. And every time I'd go to any one of their stores, man, they stop what they were doing. They speak, and they, man, how you doing, man? It's been a long time. How you been? And then I'd catch them from 2 or 3 times, and like again around town, they're having meetings and doing shit like that. Then they would stop their little meeting and chop it up. And so I'm like, man, these guys can't be that racist. Maybe it's the way that this particular person was carrying themselves. Because every time I go in there, they super cool with me. It's never an issue. So I don't know, man. Again, like I said, I don't know. Again, like I said, it depends on where the information comes from. The quality of that information. So I think that you definitely got to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Dominic, that wasn't me playing it. That was the little one was playing on the Lego game. She was playing the Lego movie game or something like that. So I don't know. I always miss the racist guy. I said, damn, my timing is bad. I guess I should have caught the racist guy. But my thing is, like I said, I never have issues like that, and I'm curious as to why, because I feel like I look like a stereotypical.
I could tell you why right there. Excuse me, I could tell you why right there. That's happened to me. But before I do, I want to say, Dominic, my daughter was playing Lego World earlier too.
Oh, yeah.
I was playing it with her.
Okay.
I was playing it with her. But I can tell you right now, because if you go, okay, I'm gonna just put it like this out. I went to a store with a friend of mine. I'm gonna give you two examples. Okay. Went to a store with a friend of mine one day. You know, he felt like he got back the wrong amount of change back when he bought something. Mm-hmm. Walking there, he all pissed off. Man, y'all trying to steal from me. Where's my money? Get my money, blah, blah, blah. So you act like that, of course, somebody's first reaction, they're going to be defensive. Mm-hmm. So that's the mind frame right there. You think that you finna just go clown somebody and they're going to do what you want them to do. Now, I'm going to tell you like this here. Whenever, oh no, it happens sometimes. We are human. We all might, get shortchanged $1 or $2 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It's human. I'd be like, hey, I only got back this much amount. I thought it cost this. Like, oh, my bad. Here you go. See what I'm saying? If you come back to somebody who's like, with respect or a little bit more real, talking to them like you got some damn sense, mm-hmm. then, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get a different outcome. Mm-hmm. That one person, because they went in there talking like that, of course you're going to have a negative comeback. Mm-hmm. Anybody say, oh, I'm sorry. No. If it was me personally, you come at me like that. No, homeboy, okay, I messed up, my bad. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Be more, and then if you came at me with respect, oh, I'm sorry. Let me give this back to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me give you a free soda for my mistake. Something like that. You know what I mean? If I come back at you with some respect, you know what I'm saying? Come at me with some respect. Bottom line. Now I'm gonna give you a second incident that happened. We all hang out with our friends. You know what I'm saying? Go places with our, with a partner. You know what I'm saying? Somebody you think you're cool with, put like that. I go to a Walmart one time off of 290 and I can't think of cross street right now, but off of 290, and I go and walk in the store with a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? We separate in the store. He goes to the sporting goods section. I go over to the meat section. Because I'm feeling. I said, "Fuck, while I'm there, might as well get me something to eat." Yeah. So, go get something to eat, and next thing I know, we finna walk out the store together. I pay for my shit, and then here come security trying to stop us, talking about we stealing. I'm like, hold up, homeboy, I ain't steal shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that law is because you're with someone who did something, mm-hmm. basically going down with them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But they could see it in and then catches us walking out together. And kind of find out this motherfucker then stole some damn money out of the damn sporting good cash register. So it's like, what the fuck? So it's just like those things when you have respect with someone, you know what I'm saying? That you got to think, okay, why is this? Why are you saying this? Why are they doing this? And things like that. I mean, of course, every situation is different. That's why I gave you two different examples there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I knew good friend, well, supposed to be a good friend of mine, would do something like that, I wouldn't have went nowhere with him. Mm-hmm. and then try and show the other friend, you know what I'm saying? Hey, how do you talk to somebody? You know what I'm saying? And, you treat somebody like shit, they're gonna treat you like shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. Me personally, I agree with you, Honcho. I don't respect is earned. I don't just give it. I might come out and say, yes, sir, what's going on? How you doing? Something like that. But if you just automatically come talking crap to me right out the gate, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it back how I see it. I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to come to blows, but I'm not finna just let you think that you can just talk crap to me and get away with it. No, that's not how this thing's gonna work. Not with me, at least. I can't speak for nobody else, but you know what I'm saying? So, but I was just showing them, I'm like, look, man, this is how you do things. If you get shorted, hey, man, all right, I thought this cost $20. I gave you a 50. You only gave me 25 back. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, And be like going there and be like, motherfucker, you trying to steal from me? All that ain't gonna solve anything. It's just gonna make a situation worse. So it's all really how you approach things, how you look at things, how you talk about things, how you know what I'm saying, just think about it, how you see it, things like that on your certain situations before you make a decision on how the outcome is gonna be. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, I definitely agree. We're gonna open up the line here shortly because I know we had y'all. We got the party started a little bit late. I know we have y'all wait. I know y'all got some stuff y'all gonna want to say. We're gonna open up the line here in just a second. But I'm curious about White Persuasion's skydiving situation. That's something I've considered doing. I ain't quite made the full I want to do it. But I might have to, I might be looking. I might need to lose a little bit more weight first. I don't know what the weight limit is on, some of this stuff. And then I'm gonna have to find. I don't want no little dude strapped to my back, so I'm gonna have to find one where I can find me a female instructor or something like that. Because I don't know if I want some strange dude strapped to my back pulling cords and shit. That's it's just a little throwed off to me. So yeah, let's get this party started.
That was a good one. Oh man,
I
had thought about.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Now, obviously, I had thought about skydiving before, but I don't know if I'm brave enough to do it. I admit it. Yeah. I'm chicken as hell. I admit it. Forget that. Yeah. But I thought about it.
Yeah, because I want to see, because I hear so much about say when you cross that threshold, and again I talk about we talk speaking of personal philosophies, and I talk about how Will Smith. After I got into some shit, a while back, and it was a Will Smith video that really helped alter a lot of my perspectives. And there was another video he dropped recently, and he was just talking about, when we were talking about fear the other day, and I should have mentioned it then, it would have been perfect. But he was talking about, the fear of going skydiving, and then, once he made that leap and he saw, basically the scenery and just how, the visuals and everything were so amazing that you almost want to go and do it again. That fear is gone. It's just how beautiful everything is. It was very worthwhile. Says, question from Man Up: what is your philosophy when you are facing adversity?
What kind of adversity? Before I can answer that,
that's a good question. Yeah, there's levels to that shit.
We gotta be more specific on that one. I give you an answer.
All right. Okay, yeah. What kind of adversity? Let me get the proper
I can face adversity. Somebody trying to attack me. Mm-hmm. I can face adversity when I got into an accident. You know what I'm saying? Driving. I can face adversity when a dog was chasing me. It just all depends. You know what I'm saying? So I faced adversity when I had back surgery. So it just all depends on what it is talking about. So.
Okay. This says adversity when you think you're giving it your all and nothing is going your way, no matter how hard you try.
Better way to put it. I like that one. Who sent that? If you don't mind me asking.
I believe it's your number one fan, man. I think Ed Man. I think Ed Man always comes with the good. Every time you pull up, Ed Man got some questions for you. So I believe it's Ed Man.
Well, if that was Ed Man, I appreciate that, and that was a good one. But repeat that one more time. What was his answer?
Okay, hold on one second. We got a call coming in, then we'll jump right back to it, and then because it pulled up the other screen. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey man, this is Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal, Kenneth? What you want to drop in the den this evening?
Hey man, first of all, I hope that you and Man Up had a good day, and everyone else in the chat, But what I wanted to say is, I consider you and Man Up, relatively wise, man. But not too much here, but Man Up, I consider him a very wise, I don't want to say old head, but older man. But I want to know, what are some of the things that y'all believe in, and what are some of the things that y'all stand for? I'm gonna go back to the chat and listen.
All right. Okay. Appreciate the call there, Kenneth.
All right.
Well, when it comes to Kenneth, one of the things I believe in is the timeout button. So, there's that. Just frequent overusage of the timeout button when it comes to Kenneth. That's just what I believe in, when dealing with folks like Kenneth. But no, seriously, you wanna address that one, or would you like me to go ahead?
You go first.
something I believe in. I believe in being dedicated. I believe in, kind of what they were just talking about, the question with adversity, giving something your all. But I think, and again, my problem is that it's something I have to work on with that is, and again, my philosophy is constantly changing, is focus. Focus is very important. Like me, I'm a person, I come up with a lot of ideas. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of things that I want to do. My issue, though, comes with focusing on one thing at a time. If I got 1,000 things and I try to do 1,000 things every day, I'm only going to advance, a little bit. Might not get all 1,000, even worked on. And the ones I do, I'm only going to advance a small percentage. But being dedicated to something, but having a plan for how you approach it is something that I've been working on a lot more recently. I think that's very important in life, taking things, one thing at a time and giving your all. I've started to kind of back away from multitasking, because multitasking isn't really giving your complete effort in any one thing. You're kind of giving half-ass effort to a bunch of different things. When you focus on one thing and make sure you have it completed before going on to the next thing, you can feel more confident about what you've done, as opposed to halfway finishing this, halfway finishing that. I think that's very important. That's something I should have probably started doing a lot younger. Again, like I said, I'm very big on respect. I fuck with you. I'm gonna respect you, even if I don't really know you. I'm gonna offer you respect at first. If you choose not to take that, then you get whatever comes with after that. So again, like I say, so I don't weigh too heavily on, well, was I in the wrong when I did this, or was I in the wrong with that? No, because I'm always gonna approach you in the right fashion. I'm always approach you in the right way. And like I say, once you cross those boundaries, then I don't have to worry about it. In that way, it doesn't weigh on my conscience. I don't have to deliberate on that later on. Was I the bad guy in this situation? Because I'm not. I'm gonna approach it with the right manner. I'm sure there's a couple of things. I'll let Man Up speak on it while I ponder another thing or two, I guess, that I could say or things that I'm big on.
Do me one more favor. Do me a favor, please. Can you repeat his question one more time? I want to make sure I answer it properly.
Okay, he was just saying, what are some things that we're, I guess, heavy on? I guess we'd say, things that are kind of a continuation of what's important in our philosophy. What's important, to us.
Me personally, I know this is going to be a kind of a broad answer, and I'm going to give you a somewhat of a better answer once I say this. Me personally, my best philosophy is, like I said, one, think twice about every decision you do, because you don't want to make it a horrible decision for yourself and those around you. Like if you have a girlfriend, kids, wife, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. So then also too, my personal number one philosophy is try to be a better person every single day. And what I mean by that is, as y'all know, I have a little girl, and I'm trying to be that role model in her life. So when she gets older, she's going to want to look for a type of man that I am. You know what I'm saying? A provider, someone that's going to be there for her and be attentive for her, things like that. So when I wake up every day, I try to set boundaries for her, because, of course, she's a kid. So I try to set those boundaries, let her know, hey, this is how it is. And then I try to talk to her and explain things, why you do things. Why am I doing certain things? Why am I saying certain things? Things like that. Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me, sorry. And so if that kind of answers the question, I just try to be an overall better person every day. Does that always work? No, it doesn't. I'm not gonna say and lie to you that it does, but it's an everyday struggle to try to be the best that you can always be. That's me personally, and that's not always just for my daughter. It's for myself and my wife as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course my close friends around me. So hopefully that answered your question, Kenny. Now, can you go back to what that person that text? I have forgot what it was.
Okay. They're saying about adversity, and they're saying adversity, when you think you're giving it your all and nothing is going your way, no matter how hard you try. And they're asking what your philosophy was on when facing adversity of that caliber.
Okay. It's been a bunch of times I feel like I gave something my all and didn't succeed and stuff. I mean, we all feel like that. Don't feel like that you succeeded. And it does get you down, because you're human, you got feelings, you got emotions. And sometimes that can overwhelm you. But giving an example, there's been times that, I'm busting my ass at work and I feel like, shit, I'm trying to, hurry and get to the house because there's things I'm trying to take care of, things like that, things I want to do, I'm saying, that I don't want to miss out on, personally. So I'm busting my ass trying to do what I got to do. And then you feel like, damn, well, I couldn't get a chance to do it maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, back in my head, I get a little upset about it. I'm not gonna lie, I say I don't. But at the end of the day, it's just like when you're facing adversity, well, in that kind of situation, try not to let everybody else see that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I was teaching my daughter earlier, because I was teasing her, messing with her, and she got kind of upset at me. And I say, I told her, I said, the reason why, no hiding, no Super Bowl in my house. But I told her, I said, the reason why Daddy kept messing with you because you're showing me that you're upset. I said, you gotta try not to show everybody what makes you upset, because if they see that, they're gonna continue to mess with you. Like I said, I know a lot of times I be saying things like she may be 15, 20 years old, and I know she's on 8, she's gonna be 9 in about like a week or so. And I'm trying to, teach her life lessons. And I know she's young, and I know I'm gonna have to repeat this over and over. And sometimes that's another thing that gets me. Sometimes I hate I have to repeat myself, but I have to step back and think. I'm talking to a little kid sometimes, because you get used to adult conversations. You adult, and I gave you power. I hate. Why are y'all calling me Tech Nine?
No, don't show it to him. Don't show it to him.
Man, but anyway, because when I told my wife y'all calling me Tech Nine, she got mad at the motherfucker. but anyway, yeah, it's just certain things, certain philosophies that you gotta. Like I said, I can't really say everything because there are certain things that happens in everyday life that you'll win and some that you'll lose, and some that, my personal opinion, will be a draw. And what I mean by that is, you might get upset, but then you'll be like, hold up, you'll take it back, and you just might walk away. And to me, that's a draw. If you win, that means certain things happen, and you're like, you know what, I got bigger and better things to worry about in my life, and you don't get upset about it. Then you lose, like I said, sometimes you're human. Sometimes things will get the best of you, and there's certain things that you can learn from. So that's just me, how I look at things. Man, I hope that answers your question. That might help you out there, Ken.
Okay. I got another text from Senior Rabbit. And he says, let me bring it back, make sure I read it, verbatim. Says, there are 2 quotes that I live by. I don't need to be rich, and I don't need power. I just need to be me. 2, work smarter, not harder. Being me is something I've never been more happy to be. Working smarter is basically trying to find the little loopholes and stuff.
Be careful with the loopholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the poop hole loophole. That gets you in a whole lot of shit. So what you gotta think about, and there's nothing wrong with being you. I absolutely agree. You should always be you. But kind of to piggyback off what Man Up said, be a better you. Always try to be a better you. So, go in the direction of life that you want to go, but find ways to improve on that. And like Man Up also said with the loopholes, be careful, living by the loophole. You don't always want to find the shortcut. Sometimes taking the scenic route, again, gives you the experience, gives you the understanding you need. Now, if it's a crunch situation, and okay, the loophole may benefit you, but and I'm not telling you to overwork yourself. I mean, again, I understand that, like, as far as if you talking about some type of labor, or you're talking about something that requires a lot of tedious repetition or whatever it may be. Yeah, if you can find a way to be more creative or whatever in those type of things, and do that. But sometimes the loopholes can, you can end up missing out on some very valuable information. And so, I'm not saying anything's wrong. It's your personal philosophy. I can't tell you how to do it again, but, excuse me. Sometimes you have to, it's good to have the experience of the hard way. It's good to have, to understand, okay, well, what am I and why am I avoiding? Sometimes we avoid things and thinking that, it's going to be harder work, when again, it's a better experience and a better understanding. My mods are Raspberry Jaybird. It's a better understanding when you get the full experience of something, and then you can appreciate, why you decided to find an easier method or a loophole to avoid doing that. It was something that was said, and I kind of forgot. I should have jotted it down. But my thing also when it comes to personal philosophy, when you're applying these things, and sometimes you have to look at, you can say a lot of things and they can sound good, and they can make you feel good when you say them, or what you want to support. But you got to really look at who you are, and sometimes you have to adjust. And again, grow into that personal philosophy. Sometimes, you may have a certain standard that you want to set, depending on what it is. Your philosophy is, man, I ain't gonna never let anybody hold me. Okay, cool. But if you're weak and you can't really defend yourself or whatever else it may be, you may resort to extremes trying to, maintain this philosophy. You maybe you get punked over something little, and you feel like it's a fight you can't win, or it's a situation where you're kind of outnumbered, and then so you sticking by the, like, well, I'm gonna go get this pistol, I'm gonna go do something. You go do something outrageous to stand by that philosophy or whatever else it may be. So you got to make sure your philosophy is suitable. You got sometimes it might be a situation where you got to know when, hey, you know what, I might need to take this L or whatever else it may be, because the outcome could be much worse for me in the long run. I'm not really telling you to take no L's in a situation. Like, there's always a way, be smart. But you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I remember when I was young, man, I had a cousin, and I remember I got into like 4 fights in one day. I was going to visit some family, and I was at the park, they was at the house, and I just kept getting into a bunch of fights with these other little kids. And, after the first fight, I was like, okay, I'm in a situation where I need to cool it. I don't want to fight. It wasn't nothing like that, but I'm just like, man, I'm in a hostile situation. But, like most families do, they send my ass back outside, get back out there. And if they want to fight, you better keep on fighting. And that's what happened. So again, and then my cousin, he shares with me, well, look, man, this is what you got to do. He put me to the side. He's like, man, if you ever in a situation and you don't feel like you can win, then you better get you a stick, you better get you a weapon, get you a something, and go upside their head, do whatever you got to do to win. And, that's something I carried with me for quite some time, but then again, like I said, you got to know what situations require the fist, what situations require the stick, and which situations require the mind, and sometimes you got to just be smart. And if you see a situation coming on, and the only way that you're going to resolve it is by going through the most extreme method, you got to understand that you got to weigh the consequences of that method. So again, like I say, you make sure your philosophy is suitable for your situation. But again,
yeah, it did.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but Edman said it's lagging. It did lag a little bit on me. Just let you know that.
Okay. Yeah,
but
it
seems okay now. Seems to be.
Okay.
But also too, sometimes you might have to change your philosophy a little bit as well too, or altered it, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying you want to go to the store, instead of going right, sometimes you might have to go left. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Just stupid example, I know, but just saying that you might sometimes have to change it just a little bit or alter it, even though you might be striving. And then I agree with you. Sometimes you got to know in certain situations what to do. And me personally, sometimes taking an L is not always a bad thing, because sometimes in life you're gonna take an L before you start, winning. That's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So, because trust me, I've taken many of L's, growing up. So, and even in my early 30s and stuff, I've taken several L's. That's just how it is. But you got to know how to bounce back, because that's life lessons. So, and then, like I said, that's another thing that kind of got to me one time too as well, is that, you work so hard, and you're like, damn, how come this and that is happening? Then you just got to understand sometimes it's life. But then later on, you start to think, okay, now you're doing better, and you start thinking about that L you took. It taught you something. So it just really all depends on your situation to think about your philosophy. Should you go by that philosophy at this moment, or should you alter it a little bit? So that's just something to think about. Because, like I said, and mostly a philosophy is just thinking of the mind, your reaction, your attitude about certain things. So, in certain situations, you just got to be smart about it. And this was on my mind when you was talking. I
think okay. All right, hold on. Yeah, look, it went all the way out. Like
to everybody, even an inspiration to myself, because sometimes you can surprise yourself on some things that you might do or say or react on, whatever. So, appreciate it.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Got a question for you. Okay, and it's something we've discussed recently, and I just kind of want to know your thoughts and opinions. Y'all talking about Gillette's fault. That's exactly where I'm going with it. What is your thoughts? Have you seen that Gillette commercial? And I would like to know your personal opinion and feelings about that commercial. I mean, what do you think about that? I don't know if you caught the discussion we had about it, but I just want to know what does that commercial say to you? Maybe maybe you have a different perspective, maybe a different view on it, but I'd like to know your feelings about it.
I watched your stream the other day. Yesterday when you was talking about the freedom of speech and you was talking about the Gillette commercial and you was talking about other things as well too, and Jay Dizzle had called in and he basically said the same thing that I was thinking. I said, I wish I would have caught that stream. I wish I would have been on it. I wish I could but oh my God, when I saw that commercial, I agree. It's like, hold on. And then T'Challa had called in. She was 100% honest, and I'm glad a female was honest about how she think when she see a good-looking guy, in her opinion, But anyway, I'm gonna answer your question. I just had to say that because I watched that stream and I was like, "What the?" Go ahead and give you my answer on that commercial. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought it was sexist for women in a woman's favor, if that makes sense how I'm putting it. And what I mean by that is, you think that it's okay for women to wear tight, revealing clothes and nobody's going to say anything to it, nobody's going to look twice? BS. We are men at heart and we are weak for the flesh. We are men. That's just what it is. That's how we are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we're going to go around and just sleep on everybody. No. But you see a good-looking woman in your eyes, you are going to go say something. Bro, that's not how we do things. What man actually does that? Let's just be real. What man actually does that? And you know what I'm saying? I'm a married man, so of course I'm not going to do that. But if I was single, of course, if I see a good-looking woman in my eyes, I'm going to say something.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. It's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Just like a woman. A lot of women don't like to say nothing to men, but guess what? There are a bunch of women that are still good-looking men. She'll go stand around him hoping he say something to her. You know what I'm saying? So when you seeing that, it's like, come on, man. Now you're trying to stop a man from being a man. I'm not. Yeah, you're right. Don't have no. What's going on, Joseph?
Tenny, what's the deal?
Yeah, Toxic Tenny. I'm sorry, I just saw the name Joseph. Toxic. We are men, and women wants a man to approach them. That's just what it is. That's just how it goes. And when if a woman see a good looking man, you know what I'm saying, she gonna give him the attention, you know what I'm saying, look at him, hopefully he respond. And if a man see a good looking woman, guess what he's gonna do? He might respond, or he might, you know what I'm saying, just look at her, be like, he might have thoughts in his head, because we're men, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully T'Challa was watching this, because I have to give her mad props. She said something that I say that I know women does all the time. They react same as men. And I had this conversation with so many women. We don't do that. Bullshit. Yes, you do. You just spoken about it as men are, but you do the same thing that we do. You know what I'm saying? We'll see a good looking woman. Hell yeah, boy. If I had a chance, I'd blah blah blah. I don't want to disrespect my wife, but I'm just saying. You don't have those same thoughts that men have. It's just how it goes. Now, like I said, women might not be as outspoken about it as men are, but it's the same damn thing. So I gotta give much props to her. Hopefully she watch it now or she'll watch it later. But I just had to say that. Okay. Now, going back to the commercial, y'all said, why aren't all these men grilling boys? And what Jay Dizzle called in and said, you damn right, those are boys. Those are little, what, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids. Of course, every little boy did that crap, wrestle around in the grass, you know what I'm saying? Little playful activity, throwing sticks and rocks at each other, crap like that. That's boys. How you trying to stop a man? You trying to stop a little boy from being a little boy. But see, this is one thing too that I don't know if a lot of people have noticed this. Have y'all noticed a lot of these commercials where they want men to do certain things, like these Viagra commercials or these commercials where they want you to go buy a suit or something, or these commercials want you to a man to go buy a car, whatever. Any dealing with a man. Have y'all noticed they use good-looking women in those commercials to try to get the man to do things?
Exactly.
So it's like, and they'll show the woman, well, you know, I don't call it makeup, I like to call it war paint. They'll show the woman, you know what I'm saying, in a skimpy looking see-through outfit or a tight dress, or being all promiscuous and stuff, where she act and she be turning her body and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's every commercial when they want a man to go do something, buy something, or look a certain way, or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So when you're showing this commercial with these women in these tight, I don't know, leotards, whatever the hell that.
Hold on one second. We got a call coming in. We'll take this call. I want to get back to it. He said the women in the leotards dressing sexy. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Edmund.
Edmund. Pimp of the year, Edmund. What's the motherfucking deal, Edmund? What you want to drop in the den tonight?
So I don't know if you have heard the most recent Family Guy episode, or if you've seen it.
I did happen to watch it. I haven't watched Family Guy in years, and I think I was doing some work here on the computer. I forgot. I think a game or something was on, and it came on after the game or after Bob's Burgers. And I was actually watching Bob's Burgers, and I left the screen on, and Family Guy came on after, and I was just like, I seen the one they were talking about Trump, right? Or was one today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So speaking on that, why do you think most TV shows or cartoons are getting more political now? And do you think it's affecting society? You know, we've seen it with Gillette's recent ad, and you know, all these different companies are now coming out with these social justice themes. So is it really that? Are these ideals affecting society, and how can we prevent our children or our future generation from falling into, you know, these traps?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. A very good question. All right, Ed, man, I'm gonna hang up on you, but we definitely gonna speak on that, man.
All right.
So how can we save the kids? How can we prevent the children? Me personally, I think you just got to talk to them. I think it's going to be your own personal responsibility to share your own philosophy on life with the kids. I mean, because we kind of talked about this briefly the other day when we were talking about education and how these teachers are indoctrinating the kids with their own beliefs in these classrooms. And I think as a parent, you have to be proactive and speak on these things before, you know, they get it from someone else. And again, you think of a teacher as somebody who's telling you something, a person of authority, that they know what they're supposed to know it all, or you think that they do, you know, they don't. And so you as a parent, you have to kind of step in before that happens. Like I said, we take time often to speak to the little one about certain things, you know, and even though those conversations may not have come up, but we want to be ahead of the game so that when those conversations do come up, she can kind of have a perspective to counteract that. Now, ultimately, it's going to be her own choice to figure it out. I mean, there's, you know, people are going to be people. They are human beings. But, you know, we're not going to let her just get here and get indoctrinated by every angle. You know, the cartoons are already putting in subliminal shit, and not even just the Family Guy. I mean, the kids' cartoons are doing it. And so you just have to be, you kind of have to be on top of that. So I think you just have to make sure you're diligent in your own parenting to avoid that. What do you think about that one, man?
I think with your kids, you gotta make sure they have their own mind. Don't, For example, I don't know if you know this. I'm just gonna give an example before I go a little further. I don't know if you know this, but you remember that old show, TV show in Living Color?
Yes.
They were finna bring that show back
Mm-hmm.
because I was watching this thing on I forgot what it was I was watching, but anyway, I was watching something on it, and they were talking about bringing In Living Color back. And Damian Wayans, the Wayans brothers, put like that. They was like, they don't know if they would because, they had a segment in there with Handyman, talking about a superhero who's handicapped.
Yeah.
Then they were talking about with that segment with the two gay men, I forgot what it's called. But anyway, that one. Then they were talking about Fire Marshal Bill and Homie the Clown, how those might be offensive to certain people. And that wouldn't be the same thing as the show once was. Men on Film. Thank you, Heidi.
That's it.
Oh, used to watch Color. What? All right.
Hated it.
That's my wife's favorite thing. I always love that. But anyway, with men on Film. But yeah, and he was like, it's not gonna go well with today's society. And I just started thinking in my head, I'm like, look, if Donald Trump could sit here, I'm sorry, they cracking me up now.
Yeah, that shit used to be funny. Like, that shit was hilarious.
The Z formation. No, let me stop. Let me get back to what I was doing. That was funny as hell. But anyway, if Donald Trump could sit here and say whatever he want to say and gets elected as president, you kind of contradicting yourself, if you ask me. If Donald Trump could say, tell guys to grab women by the pussy, excuse my language, hopefully my daughter's asleep, hopefully. But if Donald Trump could say that and still get elected as president, if Donald Trump can go on Twitter and make a rant about Rosie O'Donnell and forgot the other one. But anyway, about several actors and actresses, and say whatever he wants to say about the NFL and all this, just say whatever he wants. That can, that to me is very contradictory. Why in the hell, if he's going to say all this, you voted him in? Now, and then going to turn around and say, well, gay people, you can't make an assumption about gay people, or can't make an assumption about someone who's fat or someone who's short or whatever the case is. No, guess what? Like I said plenty of times before, shit, when I was growing up, nobody cared about my feelings. So why should I start now? I mean, I'm not finna say I'm going around just disrespecting people, calling them whatever. No, I'm not saying that. But I do teach my daughter, whatever's on your mind, say it, but just don't just come out and curse somebody out. Just come out and say, you know what, look, I didn't like the way you did that, blah, 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 whatever the situation is. But I do teach my daughter, you know what I'm saying, to say what's on her mind. Mm-hmm. Now I know as she gets older, I'm going to have to show her how to filter what she's saying, you know what I'm saying, things like that. But that's the only way that we're going to change this crap about you can't say certain things about this group of people over there, or however they look or act or things like that. Forget all that. Because guess what? Like you said in the stream yesterday, I think that was yesterday, whenever it was, that you talking about freedom of speech, you said something that I didn't even know about. You said you heard gay people call other gay people faggots.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard that before, and I was like, "Wow, if that's true, I'm not saying it isn't, but if that's true, that's crazy. You can't tell me that ain't crazy." You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like you said, women. I've heard this. We all heard this. Women do call other women bitches. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But gets mad if a man call a woman a bitch. It's like you calling yourself, or you calling that woman one. Mm-hmm. You getting? It don't make no sense to me. But anyway, that's all I'm saying is this here.
Right after you were saying, right after you were talking about women calling each other bitches, it kind of cut out there, and then that should be back now.
Okay then, yeah, women do call other women the B word. Mm-hmm. It is, it is what it is, but don't get mad if somebody else call it, because if you want that, like I say all the time, about black people getting mad that, you know what I'm saying, like Heidi just said, black people do call each other the N-word, but then get mad if someone else says it. Look, if you want to respect yourself as well. But then also know that if someone says certain things, like I've heard people, I walk by or be sitting in the area or whatever, and somebody might make a comment saying all black people are just lazy, they don't want to work. Hell, they ain't talking about me, so I don't give a damn.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn shit. You can say the word all, you can say black people, you can say some, but shit, if it don't pertain to me, I'm not gonna get upset unless you come out and say, man, I think you're a lazy motherfucker. You don't want to do shit. You don't want to work. And I probably still won't get upset, but then I'll be like, okay. Okay, go check. You better check my resume. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I say stuff like that. I'm not gonna get upset. You know what I'm saying? And then if you don't mind, I just kind of want to speak on that Kevin Hart thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I do kind of find Kevin Hart, a little funny. I know you said you're not a fan of, but I just want to say this here. I know it's 2019, but when they found that it was 2018. But the tweet was sent, I want to say 2010, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to, who in the hell had time to go all the way back? Because celebrity, they send a bunch of social media tweets and stuff. Who in the hell goes all the way back 8-9 years to find something that somebody said? That don't make no sense to me. I don't even have the time. Even if I didn't have nothing to do that day, I ain't even finna let nobody know it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit back, watch some TV or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna find it. I wish that person. Yeah, you're right, Toxic City, unhappy people. But I wish that person would come up and say it was me that found it. You know what I'm saying? I wish that person would do that. That don't make no sense to me whatsoever. Why? Who? Anyway, I just want to say that. But anyway, yeah, I would just teach my daughter, say what you want to say. Now I know when she get like earlier today we was talking, she said, Dad, I want to ask you a question. And she's like, you know what, never mind. I said, say what you want to say. And she came out and she said it. And then I told her, I said, look, if you got something in your mind, say it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you think I'm gonna get mad or not. It's the fact that I know that you're gonna speak whatever it is that you want to speak. And a person will respect you for that. They might not like you, but they'll respect. Now, I know, like I said, she's only 9, and I know the way I just said that, that's exactly how I said it. And I know that she might not fully understand that yet. One day. But it's just the fact that if you just come out and say, I don't give a damn, I'm going to say what I want to say. This is the end of all that. Let people know, hey, I might be talking about this. That don't mean you just because I might be calling that woman. It don't mean I'm calling that woman over there the B word. I'm talking specifically to this woman, not that one. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's stupid. I just think it's stupid.
And I agree. Now, there's another thing, and this is kind of the reason why I got on philosophy today. I was looking at some things, and again, it goes back to another previous time we were talking about R. Kelly, and not necessarily R. Kelly himself, and there's some other things I will speak on with that, but Erykah Badu had a concert, and, we talk about personal philosophy, because now in this day and age, along with, what you're talking about with the Kevin Hart thing, is everybody expects this whole, we should all think the same, we should all react to everything the same, or if you're not as mad about something as I am, you're an enabler, or you're supporting it. And that's not the case. What it is she said, basically, hey, if all these accusations are true, then I hope that, I'm praying for him, and I'm loosely quoting what she said, but basically something along the lines that I'm praying for him, and I hope that he comes forward, to the light, and, I guess, I don't know if it's as far as she meant, for him to embrace whatever consequence go that, he gets help or whatever else, something along those lines. And people were upset. People were, I believe, booing. I don't know if some people walked out or whatever it was. And then on Twitter, there's this term they call dragging. Even though, look, you ain't doing nothing physical. You just talking shit. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't hurting nobody. They just trying or canceling. You ain't look out. I don't care what Erykah Badu. Y'all ain't finna get me off no Erykah Badu. I fucks with Erykah Badu. Hey, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I want to look. You got that bucket list. Not the bucket list. The hall pass. Look, if I ever got a hall pass, and Erykah Badu was in the hall. That's all I'm saying, y'all. But no, but seriously, it's just that I'm an Erykah Badu fan. I like she's creative. She's a little throwed off. I don't know what she did to Andre 3000 and a couple of them jokers, but they were never the same. But I ain't mad at her for it. But you know, they're mad because she ain't basically saying fuck R. Kelly and I hope he burns and all this. Like, how do people get so mad about someone else's situation that doesn't really even involve them? You know, because I think, you know, Tyler kind of touched on it yesterday when you mentioned her. She said something along the lines of a lot of these parents put those kids in those situations or don't take the time to properly advise these children about what they're getting into. And these kids or whatever else, these parents, a lot of them, he even said it on that I Admit song, he's like, you basically brought the girls to me, you know, and she was 18 or whatever at the time. You wasn't tripping when you thought you was going to get something out of it and you were okay with it. But then when you end up not getting any money or, you know, you thought you was going to be able to make a squeeze play on him. And I'm not condoning what he did, you know, if he did, like I said, again, allegedly, he did those things and, you know, I can't fuck with R. Kelly. But then, you know, I've seen some other things too that a couple of these people who have made these accusations, some people close to them have come out and said, man, these people are basically one or two of these chicks, like, man, these girls have been lying their entire lives. One of them they were talking about lied on her mom, trying to get her mom arrested and, you know, ended up getting put in a foster home. And then it came out that, you know, she was lying on her and that she was basically a scammer, you know, using her kids for credit and to get a house and doing a bunch of little scammy, shady shit. And so, you know, she's trying to make a money play. Another thing came out about the chick who, that latest chick who got caught up with Bill Cosby, you know, basically after, quote unquote, after that situation that happened, you know, basically they said that she called Bill Cosby, 53 times, spent time with him, bought gifts for him, accepted gifts from him, went out to eat with him, had been in his hotel, laid up with him, all these other things after that incident that supposedly happened, you know. And they were talking about some other things with that. And again, like I say, a lot of this is, and people say, oh, well, how do you know? A lot of this, and a lot of women don't want to admit because they feel like they're getting some kind of revenge when somebody powerful is taken down, that a lot of these people are scandalous, man. A lot of these people are malicious and are trying to find some type of personal gain out of the situation. But my thing is, you know, we want to overlook that, but we get upset, or not we, people get upset because somebody's not as mad about a situation as they are. And I find that shit fucking stupid because one, it honestly, whatever happens, it doesn't impact your life whatsoever. If R. Kelly went to jail for life right now, how does that make it better for anyone else? Doesn't do anything for anybody. If it happened, those people who it happened to, it still happened to. You know, he has a situation, I guess he's with some chicks now. Some people just randomly called the police on him and said that, oh, he's got these women hostage right now. And the police ran up in there and, you know, they put him in one room and put the chicks in another room. And they're like, we here because we want to be here. It ain't got nothing to do with we're not hostages. We ain't in no cult. We want to be around R. Kelly. That's like why we here. And so basically, you know, nothing happened. And again, like I say, so people are just going off speculation of one side of the story. But again, and like I said, I'm not saying that he did, but when, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. You got to pay attention. But again, you know, why is it that people expect other people to buy into their philosophy? And that's why I say, you know, your personal philosophy is yours and it's not up to anybody. You got to find out the rules that work for you. But why do you think people get mad when other people don't buy into the same bullshit that they do?
I'm going to answer your question, but I want to say something real quick. You started off by saying people get mad when there's other people's situation. And I noticed that a lot, especially with women. And let me explain exactly what I mean. Exactly what I mean by that. I noticed this, like if they see one of their friends, or not even a friend, they watching TV or movie or whatever, something that might be real or might not be real. See, that woman's getting cheated on. They start feeling some type of way. It's like, why are you getting upset? They ain't got nothing to do with you. That's just a movie. Why are you acting like that? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, that don't make no sense to me. So when you said that immediately popped in my head. I thought about that. And I was like, that don't make no sense. Why you get upset? They ain't got nothing to do with you. And then I want to kind of speak on the R. Kelly thing. Yeah, I think he's a little strange and stuff like that. But after hearing some of the stuff that people were saying and things that he has done, But here's the thing that I say. I blame whoever sent the girls to him, and I blame the girls themselves. And let me explain why I'm saying that. We all know R. Kelly, everybody wants to say he's a pedophile now, things like that. We all knew he was a pedophile when he married Aaliyah. And she was only, 14, I think it was, 16 or whatever, and lied on the marriage license saying she was 19 when she wasn't. Yeah. So we all knew something was wrong then. Then the sex tape came out where he pissing on this little young girl. So you knew something wasn't right with that situation then. So, and then I don't know if you heard this before, this was a long time ago. He said he liked to get with young girls because, hey, you can buy them a dinner or get them $100 and they're cool versus getting with a grown woman. So you knew something was wrong with him then. Yeah. So now if you want to go and get, like you just said, now that all them girls go to him, they ain't getting nothing out of it. Now they mad and now they want to say, well, he did this, he was doing this, he was doing that. You knew something was wrong with him then. So I blame you for going to go try to get with this guy because in your head you thinking he got money and he's famous and you finna be a part of that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I blame you. For example, you know not to walk your ass out in that street. If you see somebody else walking across 290 and they get hit in traffic, you know not to go do it. So why? So, don't make no sense. So why are you getting mad? You know what I'm saying? Want to talk bad about the guy when you knew what was going on back in the day with this dude. So I blame the girls for going to this guy thinking that something is for the great to happen in their favor. Now, to go ahead and answer your question, you said, why do I think people why people get upset if they don't have the same philosophy? That's $1 million question. And I think I do have an answer. I think it's just that people nowadays don't realize that a difference of opinion is what makes this world go round. And they get mad if you don't think the way they think. Kind of like with the Antonio Brown situation. He got mad because he got called out for not doing something that he was supposed to. Why you getting mad just because what you trying to do is different from what this person is trying to do. This person thinks different from what you think. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, like you just said, you don't find Kevin Hart funny at all. I say I do find him a little funny. You know, at time to time, you know, you ain't getting upset at me. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that we all have our difference of opinion. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you like that I don't, that I know I might not, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Just the way it is. So if that's the case, pretty soon we can all be eating the same damn thing, living in the same kind of colored house, driving the same kind of car, wearing the same clothes, because we don't want to offend nobody. Mm-hmm. When does our own individuality, you know what I'm saying, stands out? When is we going to, like I just said, if Donald Trump could sit here and say certain things about certain people, and he mostly talk bad about women, but if he can talk crap about women and get away with it, why can't a man just say the B word and be on by his business? If Donald Trump could, I don't know if you saw an interview that he did way back in the 90s. He talked, I forgot what show he did the interview on, but anyway, what he said was, if he comes home from work and his dinner ain't ready, hell yeah, he's going to pitch a fit. So he's basically saying a woman's place is making his dinner, keeping the house clean, making his dinner. And I know if I said that right now to my wife, she'll be looking at me and say, go make your own damn food. See what I'm saying? And she would have a point. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna disrespect my wife. I'm just saying. But a recent study showed that most of his votes was by women. Mm-hmm. So that's mind-boggling to me. You're gonna get mad if I call a woman a B word, but you'll vote this man in as president. Yeah. Tell me how much sense does this make?
Maybe there's a lot of women out there trying to get grabbed by the pussy. I don't know. Maybe they not getting grabbed enough, so they look, hey, you know, maybe I got a chance. You know, who knows? You know, so they say it's more women than men out there. It's a lot of lonely ladies out there. You know, maybe that was some of that 50 Shades of Grey shit going on for them. Got a text says, man, question for Man Up. Will you be watching the Oscars despite Kevin Hart not hosting it?
Nope. I don't really watch award shows. The only award show I watched lately was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was when Scarface won rapper of the year. No, whatever, he won some kind of award a couple of years ago. But before that, I haven't watched the award shows in years, and I haven't watched one ever since. So I'm not a big award show fan. That's just me.
I agree. I couldn't tell you the last time I watched an award show. That shit is too self-serving. You know, they just circle jerking themselves. Hey, you did good on this. I'm proud of you. Craig says, man, he says, my philosophy is to shoot my best shot, but keep in mind that everyone is striving to flourish. Both failure and disappointment play a huge role in that process. But that doesn't especially matter because both results are a result of attempts. There's a try and triumph. Interesting.
That's a good way to put it. That's one thing we were talking about before you got that call. About the Gillette commercial. I forgot what I was saying too. Golly. But let me just go back to that. I know we were talking about, you know, women being women and men being men. And when I was watching that freedom of speech video that you did, you made a good point, something that I've said myself too. I've been saying myself plenty of times. And Jay Zills, I think he said it as well too. Somebody called in and said it too. I put it like that. Might be Ernest or somebody. But anyway, called in and said, women do the same shit men do.
Mm-hmm.
When you start talking about the teachers being pedophiles and shit, hey, there have been plenty of teachers that got pregnant by these 15-year-old boys. They don't end up in jail.
Mm-hmm.
The man end up in jail if he has sex with a 15-year-old girl. You tell me, how is that fair?
As a matter of fact, I saw one not that long ago in New York. She got to keep her teaching license. They just gave her a little bit of probation. And I think it was a 14-year-old dude or something like that. Because, again, the court systems also favor women. And that's why I say, you know, if women really want, they want what they perceive to be the benefits of being a man. But they don't really want everything that comes along with it, because if y'all got sentenced like we would, then they'd be complaining about that. Oh, this is too harsh, and this is, you know, it's overbearing. It's a lot of things that come with that perception of weakness or softness or frailty that is placed upon women. That's why I say I believe in equality. I don't think women are weak. I think they are. We'll take this call and get right back to it. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den? Oh, well, I guess I should cut that up. Huh? My fault. Who we got calling in there? I had the volume low.
It's D-Love.
D.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's up, D-Love? What's the motherfucking deal?
What's up, what's up, by saying I came a little late to the den as usual. I was looking at I was actually looking up watching videos on how to start you know, my own business and stuff like that. So, and I didn't get a notification, so I didn't mean to come late. All right, but what I want to touch on is that I know we were talking about females yesterday, and I don't know, but I recently watched the Gillette commercial because everybody was talking about it and stuff like that. So I wanted to see what it was about. All right, so I don't really have a clear opinion on it. It seems like if you're gonna make a commercial predicated on like a certain audience, like male, that you because male are the ones that shave. Why would you make a commercial bashing them? I don't know. I may have to watch it again because I didn't get a clear perception on it. Next thing I want to talk about, there was this, I guess she's an adult star. Her last name is Reed. She boasts about how she lost her virginity by raping, you know, a 14-year-old male. I'm not sure she was. I would say she was joking, but that's just to say, if the roles were reversed and it was a dude, you know, he would have been locked up. It's kind of sick how society, I guess, how she can put that out there. And she also has a check by her name, so she is validated. So it's kind of sick how she can do that and get away with it. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, have y'all seen her before? Do y'all know her? I'm trying to go ahead and speak on that because I just found out about it today. So that's my call for right now.
All right. I appreciate the call there, D-Love. I'm not sure, Reed. I'll try to look up into it. But again, I mean, I agree with you. If it was vice versa, it'd be a completely different story. Recently, I've discovered something. It's a movement they have going called First Them. And the First Them movement is basically, it's a black thing where they're pointing at a lot of white sex offenders, and they're saying, you know, why aren't these guys who basically openly admitted to some of these things getting the same treatment as, you know, Bill Cosby and R. Kelly? Pedophile is a pedophile, sex offender, sexual harasser, sexual harasser, and I do think things should be across the board. But they went back and they showed some things that I found extremely fucking interesting, because there's a lot of these guys who blatantly said these things on camera. That what was the group? What was the group? Sugar Ray, I believe. What's his name? Mark McGrath, I think. And basically, he was saying something like, you know, well, our fan base, you know, they're basically 11 through 17, and man, the things you can get these girls to do and stuff like that. And it's, whoa, 11 through 17. What the fuck are you talking about? Sitting on camera, and the other guy was like, whoa, man, you know, hey. He's like, no, man, don't edit that out. He's like, because the other guy was like, that needs to be edited out. And he's like, no, man, you know, don't edit that out. It's true. And, you know, and I'm just like, wow, okay, so nobody said anything about this. This is on camera. I mean, I'm surprised this hasn't, why haven't we gone back and you know, made a deal about this? Another one that surprised me, a guy who's extremely outspoken and has all his, and again, you know, I like his music or some of his older music, but what's his name? Fucking Ted Nugent. And he's had a lot of things. He's been a very opinionated character when it comes to a lot of these politics and shit. This motherfucker used to he talked about, man, you know, I like them when they're young because, you know, shit, their parents, they figure, well, fuck it. And again, it's the philosophy. This is where personal philosophy can be a negative, because it's like, well, better they come with, you know, old Ted Nugent than some, you know, high school doping and drugging up, you know, little dope head or something like that. So you're basically talking about you'd rather be fucking with these high school girls instead of them fucking with dudes their own age. He talked about how the parents signed over custody of their children to him being famous. And he said, and they have have records of a 14, 15-year-old chick whose parents basically signed custody. So man, if you're getting custody, what is that telling you is going on? You know, now you have the right again, but nobody is coming from. So I understand the premise of the First Them movement, because everybody needs to be attacked. As big of a deal as we're making it against R. Kelly, why aren't we making it as big of a deal against, you know, some of these other characters? But what I'm saying is it's happening, and it's disgusting all the way around. You know, and again, like I say, the fact that it's almost like. When and why do they care? And that's why I say, you know, it was interesting because somebody had said, you know, nobody cares. No, they're ignoring them because they're little black girls. I don't think it's just that. I think it's celebrity status plays a big part in it. It's not about. I don't think it's really just based on a race issue, because I don't think Ted Nugent fucking with any little black girls. They showed some of them. They were all white. And again, but it goes back to the premise of these parents, like you mentioned earlier. These parents are allowing this disgusting fucking shit to happen, and they're okay with it. It's a lot of women, especially when you talk about single mothers who were young and doing whatever the fuck they were doing at a certain age, and how a lot of them probably might have ended up becoming young single mothers. And they figure, well, I was okay. I was doing it at that age, so it's okay for my daughter to do it. You know, I was talking with a woman at the place where I get my hair done, and she was talking about how she was young, and it was an older dude she was dating at that time, maybe 15 or 16. He might have been 27, 28. And, you know, he was trying to marry her. Her mom was cool with it, and she was okay with it. You know, just a lot of fucking craziness. It's prevalent in this American society. You know, it's only certain stories, only certain issues when it comes up to, it becomes a problem, you know, and that's actually, that's very odd. I mean, I don't know if you had heard about that, you know, the Nugent thing or the McGrath thing. There was, like I said, they had a whole list of guys. Even David Blaine was in there, so I don't think it was all white. I don't know what David Blaine is, but he's something. But they were just basically saying all of these people. It's a list of them, probably about 20, 30 of them. They were showing some other celebrities who had married, you know, or were dating chicks, you know, 15, 16, 17. And, you know, out openly in public, and nobody was saying nothing. So it's not just R. Kelly. It's that Hollywood. It's that entertainment. It's that celebrity culture, you know, and you say older guys always give young girls still easily to mentally control. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be the case. They Maybe double
That's what
doorknobs.
that's what R. Kelly said. That's what I said. R. Kelly was saying that he got what he get with young girls because he know if he get with an adult woman, a woman who's been through life and experienced some things, he's going to have to spend more money on her. Gets with a little 18, 17, 15-year-old girl, buy her a pair of shoes, give her a couple $100, and he's cool. But and that's kind of what what Tim was saying. You can manipulate them, which is true. Now I know I never heard of that one, but that's kind of like what we were saying here. With these celebrities, and kind of speaking what you were saying about these girls getting with older men. I don't know if you ever remember that show, Meet the Browns. I watched that a lot. I know it's old reruns, but I still watch that show a lot because I think it's funny. But there's one episode on there where one of the girls who, got a fake ID and was going to the club and met this older guy. And that kind of made me think of what T'Challa was saying, how when she was in school, all these young girls want to get with these older men. And that kind of brought to my attention. I'm like, look, I don't understand what it is. Cause I asked my wife and she was like, I don't know. But I asked my wife that. I said, why when girls are young, they want to be adults, but when they're adults, they want to act young? Don't make no sense to me. You got what you wanted, so you became what you wanted, so it don't make no sense. And this is not really an attack on women, so I won't hide it or any other woman in the chat or might watch it later to come think we talking about them. No, I'm saying this. I'm trying to figure out why is this. Because at the end of the day, guess what? You're getting with a older man. He knows that you're young and he's going to manipulate your mind because you haven't been through things you haven't experienced life yet. And he's going to, do all kinds of crazy shit to mess your mind up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, give us someone your own age. Boys my age or immature. So are you. So are you. You just want to act mature. No, you're not. And that's why I said when I watched that video that you did, I won't say we just said what up, but I know it was called Freedom of Speech. But when I watched that video, and when T'Challa was saying what she was saying, yeah, I used to look at men and wonder how big their dicks are and stuff like that. I was like, wow, I'm glad to hear a woman say these things.
It was refreshing.
Because that's why men walk around with their shirt off because women are looking. They're not going to say they are, but they are looking. And just like that's why women walk around in these bathing suits because they know men are looking. Mm-hmm. But we're going to say we are. We're going to let you know we are. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to hide the fact. But all I'm saying is, why is that? You know what I'm saying? Be honest. Be real. It is refreshing. Just like I watched a video a couple of days ago. Well, a woman was saying men do have to pay too much in child support. I was like, what? A woman said that? I was like, wow. Because I ain't finna get into that. But it's just refreshing to hear a woman say the things that we be saying, the things that we be thinking, the things that we know they thinking, but they just don't want to come out and say it. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta give props to her again for saying that, for being real and honest. And about that situation. And to go back and speak about what you were saying there, I think it is a celebrity status thing because there's been so many celebrities that have commit crimes and nothing really happens to them, or they might get a year probation or something like that, something simple, some little slap on the wrist. No one saying, well, if I did it, I'm not a celebrity. If I did it, damn, I might get my whole life taken away from me. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I got caught up with a well, now I'm gonna say a so-called friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? I spent some time in jail and I didn't even do nothing. Even though video showed me going go get what I wanted to eat, going to a restaurant and paying for it, just because we split up and he went and did something stupid, and now we moved back up to walk out because the law states this and that, but the video shows different. You know what I'm saying? But if I was a celebrity that got caught up with a friend, hell, he didn't do nothing. Case dismissed. Mm-hmm. You know, we already know that's what would have happened. And then going back on what you were saying about how things are not fair, I saw Heidi say that women don't commit as many crimes as men. Bullshit. Mm-hmm. Shit. Heidi haven't lived long enough. She's saying something like that. Either she haven't lived long enough or she's being sexist. What's going on, Baylon? What are you doing?
Both of them. She's doing both. Goddamn.
Yeah. women, trust me, I've been out in the streets and I've seen women commit way more crimes than men. Trust me on that. It just don't get talked about. Just like women cheat on their man just as much as men cheat, but women are smarter about it, so they don't get caught as much as men. You know, women do as much dirt as men do. It's just that it's worse when it's a man. And now go back when you were talking about equality and stuff, gender equality. Here's something, I don't know if you realize this or if you heard of it or whatever. A couple years ago, I remember I heard, I don't think it was 2 years ago, but anyway, Donald Trump was talking about how he was going to put women on the front line when it comes on the battlefield. And a lot of women got upset like a mug. They did not want to be in the military anymore. They were trying to find ways to get out, blah, blah, blah. This ain't fair, blah, blah, blah. You want gender equality? Here you go. And I don't know if y'all saw that, but I made a video on my other channel, What It Do, and I was talking about gender equality. And I said this here. I came to the conclusion, women don't want gender equality. They want outcome of gender equality. And what I mean by that is the money, the fame, or some type of lifestyle, whatever the case is. They want the outcome of gender equality. Because when you did a show about that, and Wink had called in, and he was talking about what woman is actually going to do what he does on his job. I forgot what he said he do on his job, but and he said he had to get other guys to help him do stuff. But women want the same pay, but they're not going to do the same work. You know what I'm saying? And then I started talking about the NFL. I'm pretty sure you heard this before. It was this woman who said she wants to join the NFL. She wants to be the first woman to join the NFL, not the ladies' football league, but the NFL. Not the position she said that she played, but anyway. And I was like, oh, let's just be real, folks. That's great that, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to strive to, you know, you have a goal, you're trying to strive to achieve that goal. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but let's just be real. You don't want to do that. Because look what happened with Alex Smith when Clowney hit him. That leg, I don't know if you saw it, but that foot was dangling just like this. Your foot in. Now imagine if a woman took those hits. Let's just be real. A woman's body is not built as solid as a man. Why you think you want a man to do certain things? Why you think you want a woman to do certain things? That's why I say this gender equality stuff. I understand where women are coming from with that. You want to be treated equal. You don't want the gender equality. Trust me, because you don't want to have to do the things that men have to do. Women. Sorry?
The audio kind of got a little muffled there for a second. It was kind of time, but now I think you're back in.
Okay. You was just talking about the gender equality, how certain things. I forgot exactly what you're saying now, God, I forgot. But anyway, and I basically said it too. I was like, look, at the end of the day, guess what? There's a reason why men could do certain things while women could do certain things. And you come together, you're supposed to be one powerful couple that can do everything. That's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? For example, I don't want my wife to be able to do the shit that I do, because if that's the case, I might as well got with a man. If I wanted my woman to do the same thing I want that I'm doing, what's she gonna need me for? And it's just vice versa. If she wants me to do the things that she do, she should get with a woman. You know what I'm saying? So that don't make no sense to me. When you're saying these things, when women are saying these things, I understand you want to be treated fairly, and that's fine. But you don't want gender equality. Trust me on that. Because like you just said, if a male teacher has sex with a female student, he's getting 20, 30 years in prison. But when with a male student and she getting whether she gets pregnant by him or not, but if she has sex with a male student, like you just said, a woman kept her damn teacher's license. She just got put on probation. Like, you know damn well if that was a guy. No.
Yeah.
That was
woman commit that, she get married. Man get jail time. The woman ended up getting married for it. She did it with the little Hawaiian kid or whatever his name was. You know, he had that weird little mustache, but you know, getting married and shit. But I agree. And you know, when you were talking about the celebrity thing earlier, and you know, or just the age thing, because I talked about a situation when I was younger, and you know, you talk about how men figure that it's easier to deal with a younger woman because the mentality. And I talked about a situation I was in, and a chick, she was older than I was. I was 16. I was working at Kroger at the time. And like I say, I used to come in there every night and halfway be flirting and all that other stuff. And like I say, it turned out, because I would get off work. I'd get off work at like midnight. And again, like I said, I'd go home, and turned out, she was living right under me. I was working so much, didn't even realize we had, new neighbors at the apartments or whatever. And again, she lived directly under my apartment. You know what I'm saying? And so just so happened to see her walking in or whatever from all that flirting she would be doing, at the grocery store and everything like that. And, and they started kicking it or whatever. She knew how all it was before anything, transpired and took place. And, me being young, again, so I'm not acting like, oh, I got violated and all that. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was after shit. I was trying to call myself conquering something. And I always talk about I've always liked older women, so I'm not taking it from that angle. But in that situation, she was in the wrong because she knew what she was doing too. And technically, that's illegal. And so, just the same way we talk about, the young girls who go out looking for it or trying to go into places where, hey, you're supposed to be 18, you're supposed to be 21, that before you get in here. Look, I'm just a motherfucker at home. I can be at whatever age I need to be to go to my home, so I don't look at it the exact same thing. But but my thing is, she said she was going to be in a situation she didn't know she was fucking with though, but she thought she was going to be in some situation. Well, you young, I can mold you, I can teach you something. You can't teach me shit. I ain't new to this, I've been up to my shenanigans for quite some time, and I accept that. I'm not blaming anything. But I've been up to my shenanigans for like some time. I'm like, nah, bitch, this is my only hype. You know what I'm saying? And she would get mad because she saw me a couple times, with other chicks. I'm like, you ain't my gal. You don't think like that. But it was some weird shit she was trying to get into to talk about. The broad bit me one time. I was like, hell no, what the fuck is this shit? I ain't with this shit, And you young, you can learn. I'm not learn not to like this shit. This is the last time we fucking around and never fuck with her again after that. We'll see her around or whatever else. They act like I ain't even know the broad, I wasn't sweating no shit like that. But again, women do it just as much. She was a little bit older. Like I say, she was in college or whatever. So, I think she's about, 20, 21, 22, somewhere up in that age range. And again, but women have that same mentality. I can get a young dude, the same reason these cougars exist or whatever it is, because they go after young men who they feel are easier to deal with, only want one or two things, they'll take care of them or they'll do this or do that, and it'll be easier to deal with, and they won't have the problems they have to deal with a different type of man. And so, like I say, I think it works both ways. I think it's just that people who have that mentality have that mentality. And again, like I said, we want to assign it to certain sexes. Oh, it's only men that do this. Hell no. Again, like I say, and I know, because like I said, I just from plenty of adventures in high school that I was in, that I knew other motherfucker was in. I talked about raiding the snack the snack pantry and shit like that with some of those other snacks. That's another story. But again, this ain't nothing new. It's been happening for a long time, and motherfuckers, it is what it is. If you have the mind state of a predator, then you are basically a predator, whether you're a male, whether you're a female. It is what it is. But again, like you say, the women get the slap on the wrist. The men act like they've destroyed a entire segment of the population. Neither one of them are right, and I feel like it should be equally dispersed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100% with you, and that's one thing. Me and my wife were talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, look at it, and I said, no, look, this put like this here. This is one thing I noticed too. I don't want to get too far into because it's kind of another conversation, but it's just basically talking about how things are not fair. Now, if a man can't take care of his child, he's labeled a deadbeat. He might get put in jail, whatever. If a woman can't take care of a child, she can just drop her child off at goddamn fire station or police station, no questions asked. Put the child up for adoption, no questions asked. Now, how's that fair? You know what I'm saying? Life happens to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So how's that fair? Then, to be more specific on that, I saw this one story on the news one day where this woman had two kids, she had two kids by two different guys. And the guy that she was actually with, that child, he was taking care of his own child. But he would ignore the child that was not his. I'm trying to put it to where it makes sense how I'm saying it. So if you don't, just let me know.
No,
But okay, so he would take care of his child, of course. He wouldn't take care of the child that was not his. So it came back to where that child went to school one day and the child was acting like he was hungry all the time. And the teacher questioned that, why are you always hungry? You know, teachers doing their job, did an investigation. Come find out that man was ignoring that child that was not his, but taking care of the child that was his. And when the police, you know, got him, asked him a question, he said, that child is not my responsibility. I'm taking care of this child. So he gets arrested for child neglect. Okay.
Wow.
I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. And that's up for debate. But my question is, how come the woman didn't get arrested for child neglect as well? See what I'm saying? It's not. That man got arrested for it. Now, how come that woman didn't? She has custody of both of her kids, but that man was taking care of his child, not the child that's not his.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say, because I've heard several stories like that. I've seen stuff where women get upset because, you know, the man, maybe, you know, they have multiple baby daddies. And so, you know, the man does take care of his kids, or he'll buy them Christmas gifts or whatever else it is, and say, you know, one of the children's fathers is more well off than the other. And they get upset because that man, you know, either he'll pick them up and do a lot of nice things for them, buy them nice clothes, have them looking good and dressed well, and, you know, living more comfortably than the other. And they're mad because he's not doing the same for the child that's not his. You know, I see a lot where women will sit here and say, well, a real man, he's going to, you know, take care of me and my kids. You know, that doesn't make a real man. A man has a choice that if he wants to do that, you know, if he cares enough for you and your children to do that, that's one thing. But as far as if he doesn't want to, doesn't make him any less of a man, because he doesn't want to take on the added responsibility of not one, but multiple people, you know. And that's what I say concerned. It's like, so I say I get concerned with the mind frame of a lot of women that think that that's justified. That to be a real man, you have to take care of me and my mistakes, you know, or the bad decisions that I made. You know what I mean? So because I made bad decisions at an earlier stage in my life with multiple men, you're not a real man because you don't want to fix that for me. That doesn't make very much sense to me, man. Jay Dizzle just sent something very interesting. Little mean picture that says, if a man can't pay for his children, he goes to jail. But if a woman can't pay, she receives welfare.
That's what I was just saying. That's what I was just saying. And there's one thing too. I was talking about, because he don't work with me anymore, but he used to work with me. There's a guy was saying that he, you know, me and him was talking. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me, you know, a little bit of his life story. He was telling me how he tried to go get on welfare and stuff. He tried to get WIC and all that. And he was like, the woman down there told him, no, he can't get WIC. And he was like, why? And he said the woman told him, do you know what WIC stand for? Women, infant, and children. It don't stand for men, infant, and children. So he couldn't get it. He was like, wow. Then he said, y'all need to make a MIC then. Something funny. But he made a good point, though. It's like when we're down and out, we can't get any help. If a woman's down and out, she gets help. And it don't make no sense to me. You know, life happens to everybody, not just women, not just men. Life happens to everybody. If you're going to help one, help the other. If you're not going to help one, don't help the other. You know, let it be fair. That's just what it is. And that kind of makes sense, too. That kind of ties in. I know you remember that story I told you about that woman that had multiple kids so her rent can go down. You know, that kind of ties into that, too, as well. It's like, you mean to tell me this woman going to get rewarded, I guess you could say, for making dumb decisions by having more and more and more kids? What's your mindset? What's your philosophy, as the title of this stream is? What's your philosophy on that? What's your mind frame on that? What are you thinking? It's like, it's going to cost you more money to take care of that kid than it is on the less amount of rent that you're going to be paying, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. So it's like, to me, like I said, women are talking about they want equality. No, you don't. Trust me. You just want the outcome of equality. That's all it is. And I do hate how things, like Jay just said, which is true. We can't get help. If we can't take care of our kids, we go to jail. That don't make no sense to me. It just really don't. And like I said, when I see women saying the same thing that we're saying, it is refreshing because you hear it so much that, oh no, that man sucked, that motherfucker, all kinds of words and stuff like that. He suck, he suck. It's like, no. So you mean tell me I suck because life happens to me, but you don't suck if life happens to you? No, that's not how this thing goes. Because I don't know. Well, you know, some certain businesses. I know you heard of this before. Certain businesses sometimes would just, without warning, without notice, would just close down, so people don't even know they don't have a job the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've heard that has happened to a few people here where I'm at, and of course you don't know it happened, so you're not able to prepare, or at least have in mind frame. Let me go find another job real quick or whatever, because you show up tomorrow and you don't have a job, so you're like, damn, what the hell? So now you franticing, you know, because your mind is all messed up now. So now you don't even know what to do. See what I'm saying? But now you're missing a few paychecks because you're trying to hurry up and find another job. That has happened to a bunch of people here. And then next thing you know, they trying to get some kind of government system, try to get some help. What I'm basically trying to say is life happens to everybody. So how come men can be helpful? We make a mistake having a bunch of kids where we're cookies. If we have a bunch of kids with a bunch of men, they don't have no label. Just like, for example, like you just said, what's the label of an older woman trying to date a younger man? A cougar. Mm-hmm. What's the label if an older man try to date a younger woman? A pedophile. Mm-hmm. Tell me how that's fair.
Exactly. He's a predator. He's a pedophile. I mean, like I say, it's a lot of shenanigans that have been deeply ingrained into the mentality of this society, and I think it's extremely unfortunate that we buy into them. And I think it's time for a change. I think people are, and I think that's kind of why Trump was put in office. I don't think it was because I think out of the options that you had, I think people felt. Somebody coming here not trying to sell you a bunch of bullshit and basically just saying whatever the hell he wants, whether it will come to fruition or not. People are tired of the PC. People are tired of the status quo. They're tired of everything kind of being the way it is, and they want somebody who's telling it like it is, and they feel that is authentic. I think when you had the other candidate, she was pandering to a lot of bullshit. I'm still trying to figure out what brand of hot sauce she had in her purse, supposedly. Just doing a bunch of crazy shit, but again, like I said, I think Trump, I think he was much smarter. But we talked about it, the Gillette thing and a lot of these other companies and deals that are doing that. I think what happens is, I think that there's a limit. And I don't think that most of these big businesses know the limit because they go out and they hire these firms to come up with advertising and all this stuff for them. I don't know if it started with the Nike ad or prior to that. But you see the Nike ad brought up about the whole Kaepernick, nothing is impossible or whatever it is thing. Then Adidas backdoors with the, let's respect women's sports. And I don't think it's that we don't respect women's sports. Let's just be honest. Women don't even watch women's sports like that, and it just is what it is. I mean, come on, let's be honest. You got so much time in the day, okay? You have, let's say you have what is it, 6A now? A 6A Texas boys basketball tournament or a basketball game, state championship versus the WNBA finals or whatever else it may be, game 7 or whatever else it's going to be. What do you expect to see? More athleticism, more talent? The boys basketball, you're gonna probably have 3 or 4 kids in that. Oh, we got a call coming in. That can dunk and do some other things as opposed to not maybe one. In that women's game, it's just going to be more interesting. What's the motherfucker deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello. Sound like somebody playing Forza or something in the background. I don't know. They race car gaming or something.
Tell Jay Dizzle, go and call on in. I want to hear your spiel on it. Call on Jay Dizzle.
Yeah, and I know. I think it depends on the sport also, because I think when you look at more women's individual sports, that they do get plenty of attention. But when you're talking about women's team sports, it's not as interesting. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Josh, what's the motherfucking deal? Josh, what would you like to drop in the den tonight, man?
Hey, about the first philosophies that y'all be talking about, you can say right at the top, we talked about last night about the free speech stuff. I mean, like, it's a situation where most of the Gillette commercials, most of the outrage that you see, and most of the women's movements and everything like that, we have a bigger problem in this country. It's mostly in terms of social media department, and it's almost like it's fake outrage because you got, you know, trolls coming on here, you know, putting fake stuff out there. You got trolls in chats and YouTube. You got trolls on Twitter. You got trolls everywhere. And what people got to realize is once you troll people like that, and once, you know, it gains traction, once you get viral, it has an impact. It has some has a positive, some has a negative, but mostly a negative impact. And when that happens, that can lead to people jobs getting fired. That can lead to big changes being made. That can lead to people thinking certain ways. So, I mean, people got to be smarter. People kind of like got to stop doing that type of stuff. But sad news is it's not going to happen. People think it's a game. People think it's funny, and we're just going to go down the slope that we're on if we're not careful. So I just wanted to say it on that aspect, man.
Okay, and I agree, man. It is a lot of change and impact that has come from trolling in itself. But I appreciate your call there, Josh. We're going to speak on that. I don't know if you can hear me there. Might have went out. Man, DeMarcus, you my damn pistachios back, man. You have still look. You know I wasn't looking. You stole my damn pistachios, man. I need those. Those are my last 10. But D-Love, I don't want to ignore D-Love. I had to scroll back up and see what he was talking about real quick, and then we're going to talk about what Josh was talking about. He said that the woman who sold you the phone, it depends on where did you get the phone from. Was it from a business, or was it a person-to-person transaction? You know, because he says that. Let me see. Did I pass it back up? I think I did pass it up. Yeah, it says, hey, y'all, look, the woman that sold me my phone gave me the business card also, but gave me her personal number. What's the deal in y'all's opinion? Well. I don't know why you would need her personal number, you know, for a business transaction. I think you may have an idea as to what that is. You know, that she could be setting the stage. I guess that's kind of up to you. I don't think women just readily give out their personal numbers. If you listen to them nowadays with all the stuff that men do are so bad. That's toxic femininity. That's what that is. You know, they throw that goddamn number away. But nah, she might be. I mean, she's giving you an opportunity. She may find you interested. She may not want to make the first move, but she maybe set the stage for you to be able to contact. Maybe she's hoping you're going to call and say something, whisper sweet nothings in her ear, you know, or be like Soldier Boy, kiss her through the phone.
But hey, here's the deal. You already know what that is, man. Don't even play dumb. Just be smart about it. Like I said, use your mind, think about it. I always say that. I always say it all the time. Think twice about it, because there has been situations to where it can be all innocent. Matter of fact, who was this? I heard say this a couple days ago. I forgot. But anyway, I've heard somebody say this. I forgot where I heard it, who said it, whatever. But I heard somebody say that nowadays, if you have sex with a woman and it's consensual sex, you know, both of y'all want it, it's okay. But if she, for some reason, 2 days later, changed her mind, didn't want it, now it's considered to be rape.
Yeah, that's the idea that a lot of these feminists are out there trying to push. I was on some message board the other day and I saw some things, and it was just it's very disheartening. And basically, the chick was like, "Man, you know, it's been many times that I've had sexual encounters, and you know, it was consensual, but you know, later I wish that I probably wouldn't have, I probably shouldn't have, or whatever." And if you'd have seen the number of comments saying that's rape, that was rape, that's you were raped then, you know, and all this other stuff. But this woman just said it was consensual. You know, and of course, police don't enforce nothing. They're not going to do that. But they're saying that it's rape, that it's that it's you were raped. You were, again, like I say, and now you're misconstruing the definition of rape and then you're wondering why. Well, why there's less and less men on the market that are interested, because you may be looking like one of those types that would say such a thing. You see all these crazy instances where these situations happen. I think a lot of men, you know, the MGTOW movement, men going their own way. Now, I don't necessarily buy all the way into that. I understand their premise, but I like women, man. Look, I'm not going where the women ain't at shit. You know, hey, like I said, I'm happy about the situation, but if it was to ever, you know, dissipate, I'm not avoiding the women. Shit, where are they? I don't want to be at this fucking sausage party. Let me take this call real quick. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
What is D-Love again, since nobody's calling in? I don't know what's going on. But the last thing you said about withdrawing consent, I wanted to speak on that because it's not. I know there's a lot of third wave feminists or toxic feminine out there, but it's obvious that not all women are like that. Not all women. Some women got their heads on their shoulders. Funny thing is, throughout all these, you know, videos of these third wave feminists going around, I haven't really encountered one, you know, in person. But I know there's this woman by the name of Lauren Southern. She kills it. Like, she basically goes to these rallies, because, you know, these toxic feminists have rallies and, you know, marches and shit. And she just destroys them. She makes them sound dumb and arguments or debates or whatever you want to call it. So I'm not sure if y'all seen this video yet, but there was basically this woman holding up a sign. I forgot what it said, but she was defending the position that, you know, if a woman has sex with a man and, you know, she wake up the next day and regret it, then she can just somehow withdraw consent and render it as rape. And she had the nerve to call Lauren a 12-year-old. I'm not sure if y'all saw that, though.
I hadn't seen it.
But I call that to say that I seen some. Right. Her name is Lauren Southern, if y'all want to look her up. She's a female, but she got a head on her shoulder. So, yeah, I say that to say that I don't believe by any means that all women are like that. Because, like I said, I haven't met a woman, like, face-to-face or head-to-head, you know, in person, that is like that. If I did, I might just set her up myself, you know, physically, maybe. But, yeah, that's my cause.
All right. I appreciate the call there. I'm gonna check that out, man. I wrote the name down. I'm gonna check out and see what she all about there, man. All right. Sorry about that. There we go. Got it mixed up. But I appreciate the call there, D-Love. Lauren Southern. I'm gonna check that out. But that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, you know, it's funny because when humor becomes fact, and, you know, Dave Chappelle made jokes about this. How many years ago was that? You know, 03, 04, you know, and he was talking about the consent form, you know, basically having to get a woman to sign up for sex. I mean, it's about to be a thing, man. It's about to be a real thing. And I mean, you're really going to have to say, okay, hey, you know, are you with this? Are you with that? You know, make sure you check this off and check that off, you know. You know, she's gonna be mad. Cause look, if anything happened, I'm gonna make sure I print me out a couple. Be like, here, look, let me make sure everything is certified and official, you know, because I'm finna do some wild shit. The sex contracts, you know what I'm saying? But it's not 3 women. It's plenty of them. I think that, you know, I mean, if you go and you spend 5 minutes on the tube, you'll see marches full of these women. I saw one the other day talking about hoes need abortion. It was hundreds of women chanting, hoes need abortions. Hundreds. Maybe might have been a couple of thousand. I don't know. But some women's rally at some women's march. And it's like, come on. These were all white women. This is not Black Twitter. This is white in person. Again, I didn't even think I see any black people there. But now Black Twitter itself is words. But the Black Twitter is where, because you said that women don't think like that. What we were talking about earlier about, you know, women checking for dudes. All you got to do is go to Black Twitter. I don't think there's a blacktwitter.com, but you venture into the Black Twitter and search for gray sweatpants, and you'll see what hoes really be thinking. I mean, that's all you got to do.
But like this here, can't no woman right here say this is how I found out that women act the same, thinks the same way that men think. That's right. Y'all probably know. I said I grew up around nothing but women. I was in a household. I was the only male in the house, and I would hear women have their stories. Well, they would say, "Girl, I would do this, I would do that. Did you see this? Girl, he was, all this stuff." And it's like, wait a minute. You get mad at me for saying these things about a woman, but you say it. That's how I found out, and I found that at a young age. I realized that women say the same shit that we do. So that when y'all want to say women don't do it as much as men or women don't do it at all, I just, like I said, I call BS, because I grew up around a bunch of women. I'm not just talking about my sisters and my mom and stuff. I'm talking about family friends, so they're not relatives. So so you can't say that we all think alike and stuff like that. Nope, because some family friends. Of course, my mom, my sister. And then, of course, women checking for guys, too. Shoot, they want to see if he's bulging up under the belt. You know what I'm saying? You've heard women say that on a lot of their songs, stuff like that. So it's like, come on now. So it's like, come on, let's just be real about the situation. And, excuse me. So when you're talking about it's not fair or it's not right, like I said, I'm going back to what I said, women don't commit a million crimes or stuff like that. Like I said, that's BS. She living on a rock, or she haven't seen the song, or she just want to be sexist and not come out and be real. Because at the end of the day, we all do the same thing as much. It's just that it's more out there if a man do it, which don't make no sense to me at all. It's just like we were just talking about the teaching. You said it the other day in your stream. How many male teachers have you seen at your school growing up when you was in school? How many male teachers have you seen in that school versus female teachers? Now, I'm not saying there's not a lot of male teachers, because there are, but how many male teachers have you seen versus female teachers? They just be real about it. And then we'll just come out and say this. And then they just say all these male teachers are having more sex with underage students. No, it's more female teachers than there are male teachers. But it just don't come. Like I said, when we do stuff, it's on the front page news. If a woman do stuff, it might not even make the newspaper. See what I'm saying? So it don't make no sense to me. I don't understand that. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like somebody said, that Beyonce Ego song. Good point. A lot of songs out there. I mean, if y'all listening to Cardiac B, if y'all listening to Minaj, I mean, shit, even back in the day, the Lil Kim, some of those other female rappers said the same thing. What was that song? Not Roughneck, but it was a song.
That was Salt and Pepper, Roughneck.
What was? It was another one by, I want to say, MC Light. Keeping on. Something. Dude, I don't remember. I can't remember the name of it, but it had that. The beat was live. It was a live ass little beat. So it started off something like B-boy, something. But she basically, I mean, there was a lot of sexual innuendo in a lot of those songs. And again, like I say, women constantly talking about, the phallus. Okay, women want phallus in the palace. We'll look at how male and female child rape treated different, worst argument. But again, there's a lot of other arguments. Okay, you want to talk about, women want equality, but they don't want equality in certain fields, because there's opportunity in plenty of fields that require a little bit more hard labor. But like, when you mentioned Wink saying that, the level of strength that it takes, I talk about, working in construction, as a contractor, doing different things. And and I'm not saying that there aren't women welders, and I think there's more women getting into the welding field, but a lot of it is women who are working as, fire watches or things like that. And I remember, it's been more than once, but I've seen women who are fire watches. And again, I blame the men for being, simpish. But again, I'm not knocking anybody for taking advantage of their situation. These women would be slacking off on the job. I've seen the motherfuckers over there laid out, sleep. How you fucking watching for something and you sleep? But again, the men allow them to get away with the shit because they, or what they call refined nines. And you ever say, yeah, yes, this is true. Refined nines. I'm talking about the ones that are actually there. And again, a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them didn't work hard or do what they were supposed to, but it's a lot of them who would go there, get a check. These motherfuckers out there buying them purses. Bitches be sleep on the job, clubbing all night the night before, and sleep. So I mean, you have a job to do. You're supposed to be, watching for safety situations and to be alert. And you sleep with your hard hat tilted up against a fucking column or some shit, and you just laid up. Again, it was I remember it was a laborer, big old stud, if you will. And I think she had a chick that worked on things. She was more worried about trying to follow her chick around because, I ain't gonna lie, she got a big old motherfucking ass. Because she worried about somebody trying to steal her broad, than doing her job. When it came to, delivering water, make sure all the coolers and things had water in it, she had a partner and it was a dude. And every time you look, the stud wasn't carrying shit. She was bigger than the man that was helping her. You know what I'm saying? But she wasn't carrying shit. She just following him around while he delivering all the water, carrying the cases and things like that. And I ain't mad because look, I was trying to get back with the chick and shit. She was peeping. So look, what's happening? Like what soldier? I'm on in my soldier boy kick. Like what's happening? Yes, 2%. That's a big chunk. Okay, the 2% of women are in the construction field. The other 98% are teachers. So yes, that's what we're talking about.
I guess in some aspect, I do blame men for this because this happened to me on my job. I have a very physical, demanding job, and a girl came in, doing, tried to, want to work, but team leader at that time, he was trying to get at her. Oh, she didn't have to really do nothing. I mean, he did everything. He wasn't even doing his job. He was doing everything that she was supposed to be doing just to try to get at her. Just to try to get it. And like I said before, I'm a man. I grew up around a bunch of women. I could tell if you hit or not. So he would lie and tell me, oh, man, I hit that. I'm not stupid. I grew up around women. I know when you hit. Because women will have a certain kind of attitude change about you if you did. So, so when he was saying that, I was like, dude, you just playing yourself big time. This woman ain't finna let you get at that. She just sees an opportunity just to get what she want, get paid, doing anything. And then she would be one of those women that are talking about, I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man to do nothing. But then I'm saying this, I'm like, you're a liar because I'm saying this right here. You ain't even doing your job. All you doing just standing there pushing buttons, When it comes to lifting and pushing all this heavy stuff, you ain't doing it. But that's what you applied for. But because our team leaders are trying to get at you, you allowed to, not do nothing. So I do blame the guys, for, well, I ain't gonna say all the guys, but a lot of the guys for trying to get at the woman, trying to make it easier for her so he can get at her instead of just being real, coming out and just say, hey, hitting it, trying to get with her instead of, doing, going that route with it. And so I do blame a lot of guys for that because you put it in your mind, that it's okay when it's not okay. And the end result of that, just in case y'all are wondering, both of them got fired. Yep, both of them got fired for that.
Good deal. Workplace relationships is not the lick, even though I've had my fair share of shenanigans. I was young, I was dumb, I ain't know no better. Like Baker Man know how the movie theaters used to go. We was there at different times, but he already know how that situation used to go. Look, that little stupid hat and shirt gets you a lot of hype. You'd be surprised at old goofy shit. I ain't giving no free kicks, no nothing. But again, like I say, it's crazy. And again, I do. Ultimately, I do blame the men. I blame the men who allow those things to happen, who start thinking with the little head instead of the big head, and in hopes of thinking it's going to put them in a better position. You doing all this shit, trying to make her job easier. Well, listen, another nigga, you don't even know it. He busting her back out, and you just making life easier for yourself in hopes of, getting some action, and you out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? So. Look, I'm applying pressure just on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, just the same way I'm applying pressure on any dude, I'm applying pressure on a female. Look, I'm trying to beat everybody. But the thing about it is, if we're here to work, let's work. Anything outside of that, you know, hey, when the clock is off, you know, hey, we can chop it up about whatever you want to. But I'm not gonna make your job easier in hopes of, you know, me getting a chance to fuck with you. I think that's just a shitty personal philosophy.
I can't too much say that, but I get where you're coming from. The reason why I can't too much say that because that's where I met my wife at work, so I can't really say that. Now I wasn't doing her job for her, don't get me wrong. She did her job and I did my job, but so I can't say workplace relationships ain't where it's at. So I can't co-sign on that one. But I just get where you're coming from when you say that though, because a lot of times that don't work out. And then if it don't work out, then if you have those type of people, the man or the woman will start spreading some of your personal business out there and stuff. So that's just something, again, your philosophy. Use your mind. Think about that before you do it, because if it don't work out, you know what I'm saying? So just be smart. But I gotta say, I got lucky. So.
And it's not that we're saying that incompetent men don't exist, because I mean, I think a man is incompetent if he was doing the situation what man up was talking about trying to make things easier on a woman because he has hope. I think that's incompetence right there. You know, I think that's what you're doing is you're lowering the overall performance of the business because you're thinking with your dickhead. It deserves to be fired. Absolutely. So, and K-Joe is the GOAT. You know, I won't stand for that hate. You know, again, he's just tender-headed.
Oh my goodness. K-Joe fired then. Okay, whatever. But yeah, the big boss guy wondered what's going on because we all were complaining. Even myself, I was like, look, you know what? She applied for the job. Let her do the job. Mm-hmm. Hell, that's not fair to me. Shit, I can't get nobody come do my job for me. That's what basically I was saying. I was like, shit, you gonna do her job, do my job. No, ain't nothing finna happen, but shit, do my job so it make it easier for me. It's just like, come on now, you know, be fair. Like I preach, be fair. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, look, the big boss got involved. He saw what was going on. He saw that the team lead wasn't doing his job. He wasn't turning in, you know, the numbers and the paperwork and all that stuff, wondering why. And then he made a surprise visit, watched what was going on. Excuse me. Then he questioned everybody. I'm like, fuck yeah, hell no, shit, that ain't right. You applied for the job. You knew what the job entailed of. You knew if you could do the job or not. Do it. Plain and simple. That's what coming back and things that I've seen. Like I say, every time I say something, I speak on personal experiences, things that have happened to me or things I've seen with my own two eyes. And I ain't talking about on TV or nothing. I ain't talking about what I've heard other people say or do. I mostly 90% of the stuff that I talk about comes with personal experiences. So when I'm talking about the women don't want gender equality, I'm talking about things that I have seen and been through. So that's what I mean. And that's another example of what I was just talking about. And I even explained that situation when it was going on to my wife. My wife was like, both of them are stupid. And I was like, yeah, both of them are dumb. He should know that he ain't nothing great to go down. And she should know that if you want to say and claim you're independent, you don't need a man for nothing, prove it. Right. That makes it harder on the women who are really independent and don't really need a man for anything but some damn dick. That's, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. That's what an independent woman is. She'll work on earn her own living. She'll earn her own house, her own car. She'll earn her own food on the table. That's what an independent person is. Mm-hmm. Not just a woman, but that's what an independent person really is. Like just like a man, he can say he's independent to a certain extent. You're not independent. For example, if you don't know how to cook, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, and when you need, like I said, my wife, she was independent. Like I said, I met her at work. I wasn't even doing her job. No. She would earn her own money, had her own everything. Let's just be real. She wanted a man because she wants a man. She didn't need a man. She wanted a man. And that's what a relationship is supposed to be. So
I agree. It was something I want to jump back to, and then we'll. I know we've been going for a minute. We'll jump out of here shortly, but I don't want to hold you too long.
Yep. Call in, Jay Dizzle.
Yeah, let's get some calls in here, man. But it was a comment we were having the other day, and I can't remember which topic it was. I don't think it was under the. It wasn't under the freedom of speech. I want to say it was the one before that. I can't remember what the conversation was originally based on, but we were talking about the entrepreneur conversation. And I kind of want to get your opinion on some of the things that we were discussing there. And Jay Dizzle did call in that day, and he was talking about, black businesses, and how we always talk about, buy black and do all this other stuff. But when you support a lot of these businesses, and I think somebody in the chat even said, they went to a popular barbecue restaurant, and the owner and I think his daughter were just sitting there, and from 15 minutes, I want to think it might have been Cabot that said that, and before they even acknowledged him, he said he ended up leaving because, all right, D-Love, appreciate you. And end up leaving because, the customer service was piss poor. What are your thoughts on, entrepreneurship? And I know you got the cookie business, so you got a side hustle and, some other things going. And, just kind of what is your take on entrepreneurship, black business, customer service, all these things that go into having a quality business? I mean, what are your feelings? What are your experiences with that?
Well, I'm gonna say this here. I did see that video you were talking about that too with the independent, because you were talking about Soulja Boy. Now, what the hell? I'm sorry, I was reading Heidi's comment. Sorry, I ain't even gonna respond to that. But anyway, and I agree with y'all on that. And like I said before too, as y'all know, I have a cookie business. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not gonna lie, I haven't promoted it like I should. I'm basically doing word of mouth, and like you just said, it's just a little side hustle. I'm gonna bring it out to the forefront, a little bit later on. But anyway, I think that with the entrepreneurship, black businesses, and black people treat other black people. It's kind of like what you said with that I forgot his name, the damn fast Soulja Boy. Damn, I am getting old. But it's just the way academics worded that, him and that woman, I don't even know that woman's name, the way they was talking to him. And I get that myself too. Are you selling cookies? Oh, what you put in these cookies? Oh, you think you're doing something? I've gotten that myself too. Trust me. And like we talked about before, it's been my own people. And like I left a comment in that video you were talking about, well, in the video you dropped and in the stream, I left a comment, and I was like, it's true. Hell, most of my customers are not my own people. I'll put it like that. When people call, they be like, hey, I need this and I need that. It's people of other races. I barely got my own people supporting me. But then people talk about support black business, but they not doing it. Now, I will say this here, though. I'm not going to lie and say I support every black businesses, because I don't. I'm not going to lie and say I do, because I don't. But if I see that you are real and stuff when I see it, then yeah, I will. Because sometimes, here where I'm at, they have a little, I forgot what they call it, but they have little things going on where they have little vendors come out and, be selling their products and stuff. And I do try to support them. Like, that's where I got this shirt from, actually. You know what I'm saying? I do try to support them, don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to lie and say I support every single one of them. But I don't go around preaching, support black people, and I'm for my people and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's a thing there. Because I see people do that all the time. Oh, we need to stand up for each other. We need to do this. But then you be the first ones to tear them down. See what I'm saying? If you're gonna do that, don't preach it. Put it like that. Like what's that singer? I forgot that old singer. Practice what you preach. See what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, guess what? How I do it is this here. Like when I go to those vendor shops where they be having these sales and stuff, I can't think of the name of it for nothing, what they call it. But anyway, yeah, I do go and I see what they got. If I like what they got, I get it. Now, like what DJ Academics and that girl did, they were talking down on them. Mm-hmm. I don't talk. Either I'm going to support you or I'm not. Either I'm going to buy something or I'm not. No, that's okay. I ain't seen nothing to pique my interest. I'm gone. I'm not finna say, this stuff look fake. Oh, this look cheap. It look, what'd you do? Make this at your home? So I'm not finna say no crap like that. Because I'm not finna try to bring you down. For that, I'm not getting nothing out of it by talking to you like that. So at the end of the day, is you gonna support it or you ain't? That's just what it is. Excuse me. So, but I'm not gonna talk you down. It's been plenty of times I go into black-owned businesses, look around, see what they got, see if it's something I want to get. If it ain't, I appreciate you, man. I'll see you later. That's it. I ain't feeling. Where you get this crap from? This ain't what? This is what? No, I don't like this. This no. No, I'm not finna do that to nobody because that's has been done to me. And if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to, buy nothing, that's your right and that's your money. So you don't have to. But to talk down on somebody, that's a whole different ball game. That's something I'm not finna agree to do. I'm not finna treat nobody like that. Plain and simple.
And now you talking trash. Yes, I play with a black and mild. Call this motherfucker, man. I have a memory. This is way off topic. I remember being in high school, man. We was at a little local park, a little small park, and I don't know. We was probably supposed to be in school. It might have been a short day. Might have probably supposed to be in school. But we was out there hooping, man. And man, this little nigga, man, this dude here, this motherfucker was hooping with a cigarette in his mouth. This motherfucker was smoking his cigarette and jaying the shit out of our ass. I'm like, how the fuck is this? And I don't know, hooping, smoking a cigarette, and balling on the court and hitting licks at the same time. I'm like, how the fuck is this motherfucker selling? Like, how you run off the court, hit a lick, come back on this motherfucker, you still stroking, man. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I was highly upset and disappointed in my team at the same time, but it is what it is. Look, so yeah, that motherfucker was getting it in, man. I'm like, what this? I can't. I respect his hustle on and off the court, goddamn. But yeah, man, and I agree with you, man. And that's why I say, and I talk about my experience in the video about, why I've kind of fallen off the whole buy black thing, but I will support quality businesses, point blank, period. Anybody trying to get it in, if you promoting a quality business, I'm gonna support you. And then we talked about the Soulja Boy thing. I know people say, oh, it's a scam and it's a this. I don't think it's a scam. I think if people feel like they got value out of their purchase, if they were happy to make that purchase after reading whatever it was and whatever was available, and they said, hey, you know what? I'm going to spend my hard-earned money to buy this, and I'm happy to buy it, I'm happy to support, then if they got some kind of value out of it, then it's not a scam. I look at it like this, and people say, oh, well, it was illegal, because it was an emulator and it had some games on it that were unlicensed, blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal. Oh, shit. Hold on. What happened? I seen the call coming in, and it went out. Call back in. I think that was the Dizzle, man. But like my thing is this, when I was smoking, I buy a reefer. If it was good, it was illegal. But I didn't consider a scam. Well, I bought this weed. It's really good, but it's a scam. No, just because it's illegal don't mean it's a scam. What's the motherfucker deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening? Hello.
Hey, low as hell.
Okay, let me see if this helps it out a little bit. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, that's better.
Okay.
Yo, what up, Honcho? What up, man up?
Jay,
how y'all doing this evening?
Doing good, Dizzle, man. What's the motherfucker deal? What you want to drop in the den tonight?
Oh, man, I'm fucking frustrated up here. Every fucking thing is frozen. I'm having hell with my trailer, all kind of shit. But anyway, I want to touch on a couple of things, not nothing major. Okay. I thought about something when you just said something about one of your oldest things that I didn't get a chance to call in and say. Okay. Back when I was not too far out of high school, I had real long hair. I'm talking about real long. I had braids down probably underneath my shoulder blade. That's what my ends was. And I ended up hollering at this chick. And just so happened this day, I took my braids out. And my hair I just had my hair laid down. And this motherfucker told me that she couldn't fuck with me because my hair was longer than hers.
Wow.
And my hair was better than hers. I can't have your hair looking better than my hair looking. And I'm like, that's not saying nothing about me, bitch. That's saying something about you. Like, what the fuck? That was the craziest shit I had ever heard in my life, as far as a chick turning me down.
Wow.
Because your hair looked better than mine. That blew my fucking mind. And I'm gonna skip another topic. Go to the WNBA thing. I think what was getting the ladies more riled up about it, it's not that the girls are less talented. It's just that they not as athletic. I mean, it's just that simple. Because I really want you to think about it. When you was a kid and you was watching your favorite athletes, after you watched them do something in the game, what would you do? You go outside and try to do the same shit. You try to emulate that. If you watch the WNBA, you could do everything that they doing. You can't do. We couldn't do no Vince Carter dunks. We'd have to drop the goal down, and then you know what I'm saying. Everybody start practicing how to do it and shit. You know what I'm talking about, Honcho. We couldn't do that shit, but we were trying to live in that moment. So it's. I mean, really, that's just what it is. The fandom just ain't there because it's. I'm sorry, it's not as impressive. You know what I'm saying? When a girl can dunk, that's just like, oh shit, she can dunk. You talking about a one hand regular dunk. If a dude do that in the game, it's not that spectacular unless he dunk on 2-3 people. Or if he Russell Westbrook and cock that motherfucker all the way back to the east side of Chicago and then dunk it on the west side of Newark. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, you know, it was with some power. You know what I'm saying? But that's also athleticism. So, and plus the WNBA, I mean, it just don't make the money. So how can they, you know, it would be cool. You know, if they could make the same amount of money the guys do, but the money pool ain't as big. It's not. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have the same amount of teams. So that also makes the pool smaller. Hell, probably the big three probably getting more money than them, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, I don't know that for sure. I'm just, you know, being a little sarcastic. But, man, yeah, unfortunately. But, man, I'm the first to say, bro, I'm so glad I'm not a female, bro, because they got to put up with a lot of bullshit. But at the same time, that don't mean that you got to try to turn the tables on guys just because you got to put up with a lot of bullshit. That's not the wave, though. You know what I'm saying? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. It's like some of these women, and I'm not saying all, I'm saying some, they want the perks of being a guy, but they don't want the responsibility. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to have to answer for their actions. So you can go around and slap on a dude, but if a dude slap you, now he got to explain why he did that to the police. But if you slapping on him, who you got to explain that to? Nobody. Except maybe his sister, if she, you know what I'm saying, if she on that level. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's the world is changing, but soon
I don't know if that's
cut out.
Yeah, cut out. I don't know if it's on. I don't know if it's on my end. But man,
that's what I just said. They don't want equal equality. They want the end results of equal equality.
Call back in. I want to hear the end of that thought. It cut out. It's probably on my end. Like I said, I should have meant to do it today actually, but I'm gonna switch the lines up. Like I said, I'm gonna go with a different service so we can get some better call action in here. Now here's the deal. Like, yeah, if they didn't get the console, then that's definitely scammy. But for what he's doing, I mean, a lot of it is what a lot of people are doing. And a lot of these products are people are getting, you know, Chinese imported products, you know, marking it up and, you know, throwing their name on it or whatever else it may be. And they're marking up the price. But if a person, my thing is, if a person is okay with that, because shit, everything is made in China, and they're okay with that, I still feel like it's not a scam. If they are happy with their purchase, I don't feel like it's a scam. Now, if it is, you know, if you said, well, this thing is it's a fucking Xbox One, you know, Xbox One X, and it's got this performance power, it's got all this other stuff, but then you send a motherfucker a fucking 8-bit Nintendo, you know, then yeah, you know what I mean? So I that's a scam. If you are blatantly false advertising everything that comes with it, then absolutely, that's a scam. But is it scummy? Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you said I got a console and, you know, it could be scummy, but it's a lot of scummy shit going on. I mean, shit, these fast food places calling the shit food, that shit is half fucking plastic, you know, but we still buying it, we still support it, we still eating that shit, you know. And so is it scummy? Cool, but if people feel good and satisfied from eating that shit and they happy about it, they going back and buying more, I can't knock it. If you feel like you've gotten value from something, I don't look at it as a scam. Is it low quality? Is it kind of janky? Quite possibly. And I'm not saying that, you know, I embrace that mentality. But my thing is, I can't knock his hustle, the enthusiasm in which he was trying to push his brand and, you know, trying to move forward. You know, maybe that's a stepping stone to the next thing. But my deal is more so it's not so much about even Soulja Boy, but again, like I say, the enthusiasm in which he has for himself. I support that. Everybody should have that level of confidence in everything that they're doing. My thing is the way that they tried to just undercut everything he did, and especially the thing that just was the biggest thing to me out of that whole video, that little minute clip or whatever it was. First thing out of that chick's mouth is, we support black businesses. And then the next two things out of her mouth in that little span of the conversation were, why do you have so many businesses? Well, why do you have so many It's like you just defeated yourself. Like you blatantly, all right, babe, appreciate you following through. It's like you why even that? Why talk? Why are you talking? That's almost like how I feel. And then you had dudes getting mad. Well, why you talk to the chick like that? You know, why did you do her like that? She's a female, you know. And again, and it's a lot of men that perpetuate. Hey, look, if she's on a platform with other men, having a conversation with other men, then she should be equally, you know, spoken to just as you speaking to anybody else. And if I'm talking to these people aggressive because she's talking to me crazy, I'm gonna talk to her crazy. I'm not finna beat the bitch up or nothing. I'm not here to beat them dudes up or nothing. But if you are asking me in an aggressive manner and I handle you in a certain situation, then you chose that, man. And again, like I say, you know, I agree. You know, again, like I say, whatever he was doing, whatever he's got going, again, it's up for you to look into it and say, okay, no, this is a little suspect what he got going on. And that's my deal. I was like, I'm not going to buy it. I knew about it before this whole deal came out. This was some months ago, you know, that a lot of this stuff happened. I heard about it, you know, being an emulator, because there's a couple of channels that I follow that, you know, they talk about gaming and they talk about a little shit like that. And they were talking about that whole situation, how the Nintendo approached him because there was some unlicensed shit and all that. I'm familiar with the whole situation. And I'm not saying that that's legit on it, but the hustle, the fact that you're willing to push yourself, you know, no matter what the opposition is saying, I'm cool with that, you know. But again, you know, the fact that the first thing about, we support black business, but then you don't go elsewhere and say, well, what about this? What about that? You know, people talking down on, oh, well, that shit made in China. Okay, well, make sure you tweet that on your iPhone. That's also made in fucking China, you know. So again, like I say, it's the hypocritical nature of the way that they were behaving with the situation. Instead of saying, okay, if we feel this way, let's ask some legitimate questions. And if you gonna let him, you know, speak, let him bury himself. Don't try to pile the dirt on him. You know, if he can't justify his actions, he can't justify, that's him, because when it all comes down to it, he's the face of that product. You know what I mean? It's no one else. And so it doesn't hurt to support, but if all the backlash comes, then who does that come on? It's not coming on to the people on the Everyday Struggle platform. It's going to the people who are, it's going to him. It's his business. He's the one promoting it. So again, he'll take the fall for that. But if you're selling fraudulent and shoddy products, then you got to deal with that. But if somebody's willing to say, okay, well, you know, I fuck with Soulja Boy, you know, I've been doing the dance for 10 years or however long he done been out. You know, I'm gonna buy this shit. You know, I'm gonna buy the Soulja watch. I'm gonna buy this, that, or the other, whatever. And you gonna buy it? Cool. You know, that's on you. I mean, you vote with your dollar. And if you like something and you want to support something, you want to see something grow, you know, hey, I want to help Soulja Boy get to the next level. I think that he might be on to something. You know, this may be the prototype. This may be the beginning. You know, well, I support this venture. And then he sees that, okay, and he invests in it, or maybe he goes to the next level. It is what it is. I'm not saying, again, I'm not going to buy one, but I'm not knocking his enthusiasm. I'm not going to undercut his enthusiasm and motivation to try to push that shit, to try to get that out there and to you know, maybe venture into another lane. I have no problem with that. Again, the products that he's pushing that I don't like, I'm not going to buy. If he has something that he's selling that I like, say, hey, you know what? All right, Drake, I'm gonna buy this, you know, and so that's what I'm gonna do. But again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know, ultimately. But my thing is, I'm not about bashing anybody who's trying to do something different, and so that's my deal. So you know why we don't support black business? Because we don't get that same respect we show back. At least the Asian ladies at the pedicure salon show that they care. Shit, I don't know. Some of them Asian ladies be they when they speak in English, they show you they care. When they speak in whatever Mandarin or whatever they talking bad about you. This motherfucker crusty feet. These motherfucker athlete's foot. Fucking janky feet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But there was an instance with that though. And I've seen some people. I'm glad you mentioned that. And you know, we get ready, like I say, here to wind it down shortly. It was a black woman came into an Asian business. She felt justified doing this. Now she came into an Asian salon or whatever, you know, nail shop, promoting her nail shop, giving the fucking customers like little flyers to her shit while they sitting in this place, you know, getting their shit done. Now, if that ain't the ultimate disrespect, as far as, you know, business, and that's just janky behavior. You know, go put some flyers out on the cars, you know, outside. I can understand that, but you to come walk into this business and say, here, you know, fuck these people, fuck what they got going on, fuck their establishment, and to just blatantly promote yourself over what they got going on, then I find that highly disrespectful. And how do you, you know, then it became a little bit of a situation. It got tense, and it got, and I think they ended up kicking her out, and it was a little situation. It was a little kerfluffle, a little scuffle. Because how would you have felt if, you know, you got your own business started, whether it's small, large, whatever it is, and a motherfucker just walk into your place of business and said, hey, man, fuck these motherfuckers. Man, I got this shit for the low. You know what I'm saying? I do better work than these motherfuckers, you know, in your face. You're going to be mad about it. And that's why I say you got to, again, I think you said what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, again, if you do that, you know, how would you feel? And I think that's how you have to approach things. So if I went to your shit and, you know, you got a business or whatever, and I'm saying, man, fuck with this Honcho brand, you know, whatever, you know, and you, the same thing that you're selling, but my shit better. Oh, fuck them. You know, they don't give a fuck. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Nobody's going to allow that to happen. And the fact that you had the audacity to do such a thing, it's disrespectful. It's despicable. It's disgusting, you know, triple D's. But, you know, it is what it is, man. And so I just find that crazy to think that people are validated. They feel validated enough to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's like bringing from McDonald's to Five Guys and eating in that place. Exactly. Well, I don't want y'all's food. I'm just going to use y'all's store to eat here. You know, it's raining outside or some shit. I don't want to sit in the car. I'm gonna come in here and just eat some Mickey D's. Hey, come on, man. Like, this is a place of business. This ain't a place of leisure. This ain't a fucking seminar. This ain't no group. This ain't no mastermind. No shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing promoting your shit in here? You know, I think that shit is blatantly disrespectful, man. So,
guess what? Karma is gonna come back. It always does. Mm-hmm. She gonna have her business going, and it's gonna be real good. Somebody gonna do the same shit to her, and she's gonna get pissed off.
Exactly.
Because that new person gonna feel like I can do better than you. So that's why a lot of these companies say, you ain't finna support somebody else's business in my business. Mm-hmm. Now I've seen companies say, if you're doing something totally different, like if you was making hot dogs and you passing out flyers in a nail shop, yeah, probably so. But you ain't finna come here talking about you do nails and I do nails. Let me pass out flyers. Yeah. No, they ain't gonna allow that because you're gonna take their money. And there ain't no company gonna allow that. Nobody's gonna allow that.
Well, exactly. You think about plenty of barbershops, beauty salons, things like that. You got the food man come through, you know, and he, you know, hey man, you know, while you sitting there, I'll bring the food or I'll do this. They always be encouraging that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, bring that shit. Yeah, we with that. You know, that makes our customers feel better. They can get some food while they sitting in here. You know what I'm saying? And so they with it, you know. But you know, it is what it is. Like I say, it's interesting. She'll get her due, and you know, it'll be what it is.
Right there. I kind of want to speak on that Soldier Boy thing. Okay. When they was talking about a scam and stuff, if it is a scam, guess what? Guess who's gonna get in trouble? He is, not you. Mm-hmm. So if I bought that product and I felt like that product is a scam and I bought it, I'm not going to jail. Yeah. Well, at least I don't think I am. I don't think I am, but still, he's the one that's gonna get in trouble. So it's like I said, that has happened to me a couple times. If you're gonna buy something, buy it. If you're not, you don't. Don't talk down on nobody.
Yeah, and like I say, when academics try to clown, oh man, we know about the Shopify store. It's a lot of people making a very good living. It's a lot of people who freed themselves up from the 9 to 5 with Shopify or a lot of these other sources of businesses, you know. And so why can't he do the same? Why can't he promote and you say, well, the 800 game versus game look legit again? So why can't he do the same thing as far as you know, putting himself on these other influencers who are selling stuff for other businesses? Why can't he do the same you know, and you know, make him a little something on the side. Again, like I said, I have no problem with that. We got,
you said Nintendo film, so.
And then Nintendo approached me. They told him, hey, look, Soulja Boy, we about to sue you if you don't fucking stop selling some of this shit. But again, like I said, I understand it, but those are the legalities he has to deal with. Got two questions, and then we'll get ready to wrap it up. I'll answer the Anthony Bailey asked about, do you think our country is divided? I think there is a perception that the country is divided, but I think that honestly, when you look at it, regardless of race, regardless of a lot, I think it's a lot of people just trying to survive, man. It's a lot of people just trying to live the best quality life that they can. Now, I think there are people who capitalize on pushing the idea that these people hate you or that these people are against you. Like I say, you know, it's the reason I kind of stopped fucking with Tariq Nasheed and some of his stuff. Like, I watched the Hidden Colors and all those things, and they were cool. You know what I'm saying? And they were good. They were informative to an extent. But you got to go back door and do your own research, because you got to look at the people who are on there. A lot of those people have made a career off preaching hate or preaching division. And my thing with that is, that's cool. That's fine. That's awesome. You know, we're in the struggle. We're this. All right, cool. I feel you. Awesome. So hit me with a solution. Since you're an expert in the field, hit me with the solution. But none of those people offer a solution. They just continue to give you that recycled history. Yeah, the race hustling, exactly. They hit you with that recycled history. They hit you with that that consistent bullshit. Hey, this is happening. Look at this bad shit over here. Oh, I told you bad shit happened. Look at this bad shit over here, man. I told you that bad shit is happening. Hey, look at this over here. So, okay, well, man, what's the fucking answer? You've been talking about this shit for 10, 15, 20 years, man. You should know an answer. You should have a solution by now. How do we improve? But they don't want to give you that, because guess what? If they helped you fix the problem, then you don't need them anymore. Then you don't need them, or they help you start thinking for yourself. You don't have to listen to what they're talking about, because then you'll realize, hey, you know, either it's not as bad as they were saying it is, or I have a solution and now I'm living well. There is a market to keep people feeling downtrodden when and make them feel hopeless and make them feel like, hey, I'm the only answer to your solution. You know what I mean? And then the thing with Tariq Nasheed, if you go back and watch those Hidden Colors, you know, he talks a lot of shit about, you know, white people are doing this to us and that to us, but you go look at them credits, it's a lot of Jewish names, and then those credits that help push those, you know, yeah, it's funded by the people, but then there's a lot of there's a lot of Jewish money behind a lot of that stuff, and a lot of people don't pay attention to that and realize, you know, most people cut the shit off at the credits, you know, okay, bow. It's a lot of Jewish money behind that. And again, not saying it's a good or bad thing, but I'm just saying, you know, he's pushing one belief to you, but then the other belief is, you know, well, he has a different belief behind it. You go and watch a lot of these documentaries that are published, from the one that recently, the Trayvon one that they was pushing like it was a Jay-Z documentary that wasn't. Basically all of these documentaries, I think there's a Sandra Bland one, there's a lot of them. I mean, almost every black documentary that you've seen that you think has something to do with black, yeah, they may be interviewing black people and getting their story and opinion because they were there. But honestly, all of these people are white. A lot of them aren't even Americans. You know what I'm saying? There's some being pushed by people from France, Denmark, other things like that. Why? Because there's money in making black people believe that they are unable to do anything, and, you know, considering to solidify those beliefs. Again, are there issues? Yes, there are issues. Everybody's got some fucking issues. Heidi's one of those people. She's working on a black documentary right now trying to oppress us. That's all she's about. But, you know, are there issues? Yeah. But guess what? It's up to you to fix them. And the thing that kills me is, like, when they point at a certain person and say, that person's Uncle Tom, or that person's this, that, and the third, because they're happy with their life. They're happy with their quality. Maybe they haven't had those experiences that you've had. You know, it's a lot of people come from the same fucking neighborhoods, environments, and places where, you know, we claim, oh, this the hood, you know, this, it's a rough neighborhood, you know, you can't make it up out of here, you know, this, and have gone on to be successful and go live in nice areas and go do things that their perspective is totally different. All of a sudden they become Uncle Toms, or they're too good to come back here. Why come back here? You know, when you talk about this is a tough neighborhood, why this is a dangerous place to be, you know, if you're the opportunity for you to get robbed, killed, you know, violated in some form or fashion is much higher here than there. You know, well, I can't feel confident going to work or going to do whatever it is I do to make money and leaving my stuff at home, because if I come back, my house gonna be empty. Or I don't feel confident, you know, parking my car over here, because when I come back, I ain't gonna have no fucking tires or no radio on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, why? I mean, if I work hard to get to where I'm trying to get, then why should I risk everything that I've done to make some other people happy? I'm not knocking nobody who fucking came up and came to do what they got to do, man. Like I say, are there problems? Yes, there are problems. There are issues that have been happening since the fucking beginning of time. You go back and who is it? Like I said, I'm not well versed in the Bible, but you talk about the who was it, the Samaritans, and it was somebody else. There were racial issues back then. There's always been racial issues. That's what the Good Samaritan story, whatever comes from. But my deal is this, man. You can come up, but if you stay solely focused on the problems, and we talked about this last night. If you make the problem 95% of your focus and only focus on 5% of the solution, it's going to take you a long time to figure it out. But if you know what the problem is and the problem's not going to change, okay, cool. This is the problem. I understand it. This isn't changing. Okay, that's your solid. That's your what's the fucking scientific method? I forgot the word, but it's not a variable. It's a whatever the opposite of the variable is. This is your whatever your standard, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember the name of it. But this is what it is. This is your factor. This is what you're basing everything off of. Now, guess what? Now it's time to fuck with the control. There you go. Appreciate that. See, I knew Heidi was valuable for something. It's not just a dirty foreigner. Your control, and then this is your variable is your solution, and you got to try different things, or to formulate your hypothesis and figure out a way to get out of it. And one of these things is going to work, you know what I'm saying? And where you focus, like I say, Bakerman always says, where you focus your attention is what you're going to get. So if you focus on solution, guess what you're going to get? The solution. If you focus on the problem, guess what you're going to get? More of the problem. I can sit here all day and point out issues all over the place. We live in a country of, 300-400 million motherfuckers. Guess what? You go to a fucking school with a couple of hundred people. Guess what? People beefing. There's going to be some issues. There's going to be some problems. So if you think it's not going to happen worldwide with people interacting with each other, then you're sorely mistaken. So yeah, it's easy to point that out. But is everybody the particular way because a couple of people of this race or this background acts like this, or a couple of people from this neighborhood, or even if the majority of the people from this background or neighborhood act like that, does it mean everybody is? No. And that's why I talk about, treating each situation as an individual situation as you encounter people and handling that accordingly. Okay, this person is a quality person, this person is a bullshit motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter if they look like me, don't look like me, think like I think, whatever it may be. Hey, this person is saying what they're saying because they're coming from a place of well-meaning and well-being, because that's what they truly believe. It's not about, oh, I hate you because you're black or you're white or whatever. Hey, this is my experience. This is what I've come to discover, and this is what I'm fucking with. So the divide is mental. You know what I mean? And again, like I say, no, everybody doesn't have your best intentions at heart. And that's just a natural human thing, because if I'm coming out of a situation, I'm trying to come up, it's black people look just like me or whatever else that's going to try to hold you down. But we're not calling them racist. We just call them haters, and haters doesn't have that same impact as the word racist has. It doesn't seem as, if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing nothing. Well, a racist is an ignorant hater. If a person is really a racist, that's their ignorance. That's their hate. That's their version of hate. That's just another hater. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing shit. So they all go into the same category. And that's what I'm saying. It's just going to be people who are going to find a reason to hate you for whatever. It's people who hate you because you're successful and you look like them. It's people going to hate you because you're successful and don't look like them. Or they don't have the experience and the interaction. They don't have the understanding, so they believe everything that they've been told or what they see on TV. And when we perpetuate certain things and push this image on TV, we support this stuff like the Cardi B's or the whatever these little dope fiend rappers are nowadays. And that's all you see. And that's the only time they come encounter with that. And then you mad because, they think we all listen. Well, we got to stop supporting that shit. And as soon as we stop supporting that shit, guess what? People will stop thinking like that. When they start seeing more of the positivity or more of whatever, then that's what you're going to get, man. So, it is what it is. That's my thoughts on it. What do you think about it? Do you think there's a divide there, man? I mean, I know I went on a spill.
I was just going to say, man, y'all ain't got Honcho fired up, boy. Like Anthony said, preach, Pastor, preach. Now, I think there is a divide. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I'm saying it is kind of like what you were saying, but the reason why I'm saying there's a divide amongst people. And I'm not saying just black people, Hispanic, or whatever. No, there's a divide among people. And you kind of hit on a little bit by saying Well, if you grew up in this area, like I did, I grew up in a bad neighborhood in a bad area. Uh, when you decide to do something better about yourself, people start looking down on you. Now, I'm not trying to not trying to gloat or anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm just using myself as an example. People do that to you. Why? I have no clue, and that's $1 million question. I'm still trying to figure out to this day. But people do that. That's why I said there's a divide. Or if you decide to do something, like for example, some parent, like the very first dinner I did with you, and that lady was talking about she was mad because her son didn't go to the college that he wanted to, that she wanted to go to, and that's what I'm talking about. There's a divide amongst that. If you're not doing what a person wants you to do, or if you feel like you going to a better, you focusing on trying to be better, people tends to want to say, "Well, you think he's better than me, or he's snotty or something, or he's doing this, he's doing that." Instead of saying, "Okay, you know what? This person did this to come up. What was they doing? I missed it. I didn't pay attention. Let me go ask them so I can be a part of that." Or if you don't want to be a part, it's up to you. And DeMarcus said that Den and Christian are different.
That's a valid argument. This might be one of the longest. I got to check and see. This might be the longest. The Den, yeah, because the Kush Den. I get what you're saying because I think we had a 3-hour and some change Kush Den. So you might be on to something. I got to check. But yeah, you're saying about paying attention to what that person is doing.
Yeah, if you start paying attention, for example, like I try to tell people all the time, at my job, there's one guy saying that he's struggling to pay his bills because he had to, do certain other things. And I'm not gonna, put his business out there, but he had to do other things. And I told him, I said, well, why don't you, do what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Do this on the side. You say you like to make burritos. Why don't you do that? Sell some burritos. You know what I'm saying? Go in your neighborhood, sell them. Come to work and sell them. Like a lot of people do my wife's job. It's just an amazing guy. He makes damn good food. He sells them, at her job, and she buys a couple of plates from her. Why don't you do that? You know what I'm saying? Or why don't you, whatever. I don't know, do some Uber, do some Lyft, do some, whatever. There's always ways to make money here in this country. That's why they call it the land of opportunity. It's always ways to make money. You just got to use your head and think. So when you're down and out, why don't you, give that advice back or ask for some advice? You know what I'm saying? How did you do this? What was you doing? Well, I'm trying to do the same thing and I'm struggling. Blah, blah, blah. That's why I said there's a divide between people. Yes, this country is divided. Now, I'm not going to say, it's this race against that race. No, I'm saying people in general. Because you might, like you just said, you got my own people that be talking about me. And then you got some that's not black, they talking about their own race, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying people in general. Then I could say this country is kind of divided a little bit. I'm gonna go a little step further and say a little bit in politics. Because look what Trump wants to build a wall, Republicans want to, but Democrats don't. So there's a little bit of things. That's why I say this country is divided, in little small aspects. Now, I'm not saying that's a big old bad thing. No, I'm not going down that road and give my opinion on that. But I do think it is in a certain little aspect, you know what I'm saying, that I think that can be fixed, that people just don't want to fix. Because like you just said, focusing on the problem and not a solution. And I 100% agree with what you just said. If you focus more of your attention on the problem, you're just going to have a bigger problem, or the problem just going to get worse, or even more problems. Or if you focus on solution, then things will start being a lot better for you. Things will start raining down on you. You'll be like, oh, okay, so I can do this, I can do that. So it's just one of those things that I think we as a people need to sit back and think. What is it that I need to do so I can get myself out of the situation? What is it? Why is it that me and my boy both grew up in the same neighborhood, but he went on, became successful lawyer, doctor, whatever the case is, judge or whatever, but I'm still stuck here? Well, that's because your boy you might have thought that he was down with you to sell that dope or whatever, but your boy was more focused on trying to get the hell out of there, trying to have a better life for him, his mom, his brother, his family, his kids, whatever the case is, and he didn't even worry about all that. Because put it like this here, Slim Thug even talk about this. Everybody want to know what happened to 2 Million now, why he ain't rapping no more. Well, while he was rapping, he found, a way to make other money just in case his rapping career didn't work out. You know, he created an app and he got into computers and stuff. He created an app that Apple bought for over, I want to say it was like 100 million or 300 million, somewhere around there. I might be wrong about the number, but Apple bought for a whole lot of money. He's not even rapping anymore. Mm-hmm. So, because he focused on other things as well, not just one thing. And I know Paul Wall got the grills and Slim Thug became a landlord. He bought a bunch of property and became landlords and stuff. But it's just one of those things to where you focus on, just in case this here don't happen, I need to put backup plan, things like that. And nobody's really hating on me. I just bring that up just to say that there's always ways in this country to make money. You just got to use your brain to think. And that's another thing I'm tying it back in to philosophy. Think, learn, lose the funky ass attitude that this and that ain't working out for you, and get a positive attitude to try to figure out how can I make something work for me.
Exactly. And I agree 100% with that. Lose the funky ass attitude is the perfect thing, because a lot of people feel, well, I was born in this situation, so, everything's fucked up for me. Look at those people on the other side, man. Those other people on the other side got mental issues. They have other things going on. They have their own problems that they deal with. And so we think that just because people have money, what is it? Something like they said 78% of this country is living check to check. So even when people get money, these doctors go get good jobs, or lawyers, whatever, they start spending more, and they buy bigger things, nicer things, and they still in the same situation. It just looks a little bit better. You don't really realize, they're not necessarily saving up or whatever. They check to check. You got a lot of, people who have good government jobs or whatever, getting furloughed or whatever you want to call it. And they, a few days later, a month later, they all out of funds, and they, talking about their situation. Again, it's something they never expected. As the checks upgrade, people tend to want to buy more, get more, and then, they stay in the same situation. They just have some nicer things at the moment. So again, it's about knowing what you got going on, focusing on self, and like you said, your philosophy, and making smarter moves, and quit being, upset about it, and just figure out a way to get your way out, because ain't nobody gonna say, hey, you know what, that person over there is doing bad, let me save them. It ain't gonna happen. Again, like we talk about, you got to want to help yourself, and then people are more willing to help you, because then they feel like if they invest some energy, time, money, whatever it is into you, it's going to be a return on that investment, because either they're going to see, okay, hey, if I help somebody out and they blow up, I feel like I did something. It's not even about me getting anything back. It's about, hey, that person got to a level where, they're capitalizing on their situation. But if you spend a lot of time trying to help somebody out, and then they laid on the couch, or they not doing shit, and you just like, man, I wasted a lot of my fucking time, you're going to be highly upset about that. And so again, I think that's big. And the last question, we go get ready to wrap it up here. I believe this Ed Man says, why does Soulja Boy hate Drake, and is it justified? I don't think he hates him. He said that they cool. He said that they talk on the phone and, all that other stuff. But I think he had a valid comment. And this is why I don't really care for Drake's music, even though people say, oh, he's got talent. This. Drake is an emulator, goddamn. Y'all talking about Soulja Boy game system, an emulator. Drake is a goddamn emulator. If you listen to damn near every fucking song he does, he's stolen somebody else's lines or some shit like that. And again, go listen to any kind of feature he does with a rapper from a different city. He's going to steal some lines from an older rapper from that city. He did that Block Boy JB song, stole some fucking Project Pat lines. He did that song with YG, stole some line, and not just a line, like a verse, the entire verse. Stole it from, what's his name? I think Rapping Forte. And again, he had to go back and break bread with these motherfuckers, because they're like, hey, what's up with that player? You basically didn't, stole my whole shit. You know what I mean? And you just make it seem like you didn't do it, because that when you're talking about got a shawty named Texas in into something named MJB, the deal. That's a whole fucking verse that he stole from, I want to say Rapping Forte. And again is, he's just hopping from, again, yeah, Drake is, what people, Drake is a prime example of modern society. Not stable in a certain style. He just jumps for whatever is hot. Like Baker Man just said, whatever's the trend, okay, I'm gonna get on that. People liking this island shit, let me get on this island shit. Me personally, I like a rapper who gives me consistent. Like, I'm not saying as an artist you shouldn't grow, you shouldn't upgrade, but if I like a particular rapper, it's for a certain reason. They have a certain style. They talk about a certain thing. Drake is just all over the fucking place. Slim Thug, like I said, I'm not listening to the rap as much, but like say Currency, I know what I'm finna get from a Currency track. You talk about Slim Thug, you know what you're gonna get from Slim Thug. If you expecting a Slim Thug verse, you know what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get from a Nipsey verse. You know what you're gonna get from Lupe. You know, they're not switching it up just to please the people. But hey, you know, some people say, like you say, give the people what they want. So I'm not mad at him. I just don't listen to him. I don't like him. I'm not really fucking with his music. It's never been a song that I'm just like, oh yeah, that Drake, that's a banger. Like, I'm not going out of my way to check for a Drake song, and it is what it is. Cause you always hear an artist talking about, man, this was this, the Triple X Tentacion stole a little style from him, and so my thing, that's what blew that kid up. So what Soulja Boy was saying was true. And I had no idea, you know, when he was talking about that like his first big song or whatever, that Tell Me was really going on. That's fucking that was Soulja Boy. I never heard the fucking Soulja Boy song, and I went back. I found like a little clip. They played it black to black. They played it back to back, and he stole the shit. I was like, wow, okay, Soulja, I see you, because I thought Soulja was just tripping, you know, just talking some shit. Oh, you know, but as far as going and saying I taught Drake everything, you know, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, unless you just told him how to steal some shit, but you know, but that whole what's happening, that's that whole little fucking bar, that whole little start of the song or whatever, that little flow, that's fucking Soulja Boy shit. And I gotta give credit where credit is due. And a lot of people knocking Soulja Boy, but a lot of rappers came out and said, yeah, Soulja Boy paved the way for the internet rapper. He made that shit happen. So I'm not mad at him for saying, you know, staking his claim and putting his name on it. So I mean, if you did it, go get your credit, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So there's that. I mean, I don't know if do you have an opinion on Drake and Soulja Boy man up? As just something that, you know, how you feel about that?
Well, I'm put like this. I not really pay attention to what's going on with them two, but I will say this here with Drake. I told this to my wife. I was like, when Drake first came out, I liked it a little bit of his music. Now I don't like all that shit. They singing and whining and crap like Keith Sweat and shit that he's doing now. I mean, like you just said, I'm not knocking the man hustle. You're making your money, but I don't have to like it either. So, you know, I'm not saying, oh, he shouldn't do that, he shouldn't do it. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I just don't like it. I think it's stupid, you know, lately. But he did I don't even know the name of the song, but he did say, you know, have one song that they made lately that I liked it. I can't even think of the name of it. I guess I didn't like it then if I can't think of the name of it. But, yeah, lately, you know, and I didn't even hear, I just heard that they had some kind of words with each other. I didn't really pay attention to what was going on, why, and all that stuff. So hearing from you, does make sense. Now, Soulja Boy did do something. Hey, yeah, don't be taking my shit. You're going to pay me for it, you know what I'm saying? Or at least acknowledge me. Because somebody did that one time in a song, too. He said, I got that line from Soulja Boy. I stole that line from such and such. I forgot what song that was. But, hey, at least give me some of my credit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, I really don't like Drake either. Like somebody said in the comments earlier, I like Drake when he first came out. Mm-hmm. You know, lately, I'm like, oh my God, that Kiki crap and that other song that he did, basically, I'm like, man, get this crap out of here. I was like, I don't like Drake no more. What is this crap? So I don't know. Man Up is on bail time. You fancy, huh? I think I'm fancy, Heidi. I'm fancy. I think I'm fancy, huh? I'm fancy. No,
man, but here's the deal, man, and like I said, yeah, we didn't win a nice chunk, man. I think we didn't. It's always a good time when Man Up comes through, man, and always enjoyable, great conversation, man. And I always enjoy it personally, and I think everybody in the Den does too, man. So I want to say thank you to Man Up for coming through. Anything you want to say before we get ready to slide out? And at one point, and I think Drake is a pedophile also, just to bring that conversation full circle. We'll talk about that another time because he has some very suspect behavior. Y'all gonna cancel R. Kelly. Get ready to cancel Drake soon too. But yeah, you got anything you want to say before we slide out here?
I just want to say I'll wait for that too, but I didn't know that, but I'll wait for that. I ain't gonna bring that up. But now I do appreciate you, man. It's always been fun, and I appreciate you for having me on once again. Thank you for allowing me to come on your thing, because and I do thank everybody that's been asking about me and killing pissing on women. But I do appreciate, this has been fun. It's been cool. Next time I get some free time, trust me, I will be back, and I'll let you know when that is. I just can't say when it is because I got so many things going on. So when we're done, you know what I'm saying, I'll be back. Y'all know it.
Already. So here's the deal, man. Again, yeah, absolutely. When you are available, let me know. We're gonna make that shake. But again, like I said, another good den, man. We ain't get the calls tonight. I don't know, what y'all was up to, but it's good. Like I say, it's always great, man. I think we had some very good conversations, some good texts, and I know that the line gets to tripping. So, like I say, tomorrow, again, I should have done it today. I can't lie. I was up early working on a bunch of shit, then took a little bit of a late power nap, and I got to put myself behind schedule. So, excuse me. Again, man, I just say I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Everybody who called in, everybody who's been fucking with the den. Tough. Nah, no mixer tonight. Got more work to do, man. So I got to get that on. Man, like I say, just y'all know what it is, man. It's Den at 10. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. And again, thank you to Man Up for coming through. A great conversation. What you got there?
That's what I want to say. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know, like you said this in one of your streams as well, that YouTube did not put out the notifications and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like this, everybody knows he says this every time. Sauce at 7, Den at 10,
Mm-hmm.
every single day. If it don't go down, it don't go down. But every single day, Sauce at 7, Den at 10.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what time it is where you're at. If you want to watch it, you have no excuse. Even if YouTube don't put it out, you have no excuse.
Exactly.
He says it every time.
Exactly. I post on my social media. It'll be on there. If there's ever a delay, so make sure. Yeah, let me put that. I'm glad you said that, so y'all can make sure you follow the den on the proper social. So if anything ever changes, I try to put that up to let y'all know. If it'll be a few minutes late, like it was today. Den Show live on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and well, y'all on YouTube now, so y'all know where it's at. Or you can just go to denshow.com, and it'll automatically take you to the YouTube page. So if you want to share the den with your friends, just send them the link. thedenshow.com. Again, like I said, I'm enjoying the conversation. I love everybody coming through. I appreciate all of y'all, man. Again, even if we agree or disagree, even if we're honest, upright, upstanding Americans or we're dirty foreigners, it's all love. But I appreciate y'all, man. It's all love. I'm just talking shit, man. But thank y'all. And again, so it's time for us to cut off the motherfucking TV. It's that time. I appreciate y'all. Until tomorrow.